Getting crunk. Getting crunk.
What is up, fans? What is up, friends? What is up, window lickers? Everybody out there, it is me, it is I, it is the King Window Licker himself, Joshua Joseph, the voice. And this isn't about wrestling. Don't come here thinking that, oh, the voice is here telling us all we know and all we've seen already, because that's not the truth. That's not what you're about to see here. We may talk a little wrestling because, well, me and this guest, this past guest that I've had on before, if you've been a part of the Window Lickers journey, you might know exactly who I'm talking about. So you know what? Without further ado, let's just bring him on here. He is the one. He is the only. He is Viking Storm. How are you doing, my friend Viking? Pleasure to have you back.
How's it going, man?
It's going. How about yourself, sir?
Man, I can give you a rundown of what happened today. So today, this may be a little sad to start off with, a little bit, but today is 1 year exactly that my dog passed away.
Oh.
So, yeah, everybody says, "Oh, I'm sorry," and so. It's fine. You can say it. I'm so with that, and it's just it's harder to hear all the time. But yesterday, me and Luna went to was PetSmart or Petco.
Okay. I think it's PetSmart.
I'm asking her.
Oh, you're asking her.
PetSmart? Yeah, I can't remember. Well, we have like 3 of them in the area. I'm not even sure which one it actually went to yesterday. So to me, they're all the same. It's just a pet store. You get stuff from. And
yes.
It's on the same block as like where Hobby Lobby is and Sportsman's and Michael's. So like we like to go to like that part of like the strip of stores, and we go to Hobby Lobby all the time. I love going there.
It's an amazing place.
Oh, dude, I love it. But we went there yesterday, and I bought up a bunch of donation stuff to go and donate today. And that's what I did yesterday. Kind of like a remembrance thing for my dog, because I was like, I want to do something, not just sit there and mope around, be sad, depressed about it's been a year. Like, I was like, I want to buy up stuff and go donate it. We actually bought up $144 of stuff. And then the guy was there at the checkout. He's like, "So you guys getting a dog?" I'm like, "No, this is all donations." And I told him what I was doing. And they're like, "Oh, well, if you grab this puppy guidebook, there's like $30 worth of like probably coupons and there's stuff that you guys could use, and it'll discount it all." So we went from 144 to spending just $101, I think. They knocked off like $44 worth of like coupons and stuff. I was like, "This is great." He's like, "I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm pushing for everything here for you because you're donating it. It's cool." He's like, "You went and grabbed all the stuff that we're already discounted on," which is what I did because like this is going to benefit. And in my mind is they discount it. I'm going to take that stuff. They're trying to get rid of the stuff out of the store. And that's like the stuff you're going to go. And I didn't get cheap stuff either. All the stuff I grabbed, I was like pulling apart and twisting and like will a dog like just rip this apart, The cashier was great. He really was.
Yes. Well,
and like I'm
awesome.
asking, like, and I'm going around to people like, "Hey, is this a good brand? Like, is this good?" And they only carry like 2 brands of like their harnesses and stuff. And like, was it Top Paw? I think it was. I grabbed 2 leashes, a doggy bed, a comforting blanket, like 8 toys, some treats, a bag of dog food, Yeah, we grabbed a bunch of stuff, and that's what we went and did today. And then next thing I know, Luna's like, oh, they'll let us look at dogs. And so we went over the thing and looked at dogs on their like adoption thing. And where we live, we can only have certain breeds, of course. I want a pit bull, of course. I love pit bulls. I grew up with pit bulls. If everybody says pit bulls are a bad dog, no, it's the trainer, it's the owner, it's never
I've
the
heard
dog.
that. I've heard
Because over 100 years ago, do you know what dog was preferred? Was pit bulls.
I was going to say that because I figured I put two and two together.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like 100 years ago, pit bulls were the preferred dog to protect your baby. That was
That's
preferred
crazy.
dog in households. Yeah. Like back in the day, everybody got dogs.
Well, and I mean, if you watch some of the videos of owners of these, this specific breed, they look like the sweetest, most gentlest
Oh yeah.
monsters that are out there.
I
you
love
know?
pit bulls. I mean, come on. You ever seen a pit on their back? They look like a baby seal. They're like, pet me. Like,
Yeah.
give me love. Like,
Yeah,
God,
they
I love
do.
them to do that.
They
do
definitely
it all the time.
do.
But we are, yeah, land hippos exactly. But we're actually looking at an Australian Shepherd. Actually, her name is Lucy. She's almost 2 years old, and she was all over me and didn't even go towards Luna. This dog was all over me, like completely. This dog was like, take me home. Funny enough, dog actually. So we were leaving the room, right, and this dog is like, escape. And we're trying to push her back in. And Luna's just trying to body block. I'm like, that's not working. I'm trying to push the dog in. They got around me, and right to our left is where they kind of take the dogs out for walks.
Yeah.
The door is a little finicky, and it kind of like opened up with this dog, and the dog, Lucy, pushed the door open. I chased her out of the parking lot. She went out of the parking lot up to a tree, stopped, turned around, looked right at me, and came running straight towards me into my arms.
That's awesome.
This dog
That's
didn't go
awesome.
anywhere else. And she's like, take me home. And I'm like, all right, we'll put in, his dog, yeah. I'm like, all right, we'll put in the application, like, let's go. So I carried the dog back inside, and mind you, this is a dog that was okay with me picking it up right away. Most
That's
dogs
awesome.
don't like that.
Yeah, most dogs
do not trust you enough to pick
that.
them up. Yeah, no. And I was like, all right, we're definitely gonna put an application and probably get you.
Wow.
I was like, we're gonna have to. But yeah, she's a breed we could have. She's like a medium-sized dog. She's pretty small, not very big. And I was like, this is perfect.
Hey, that's an awesome.
Oh yeah. So it really made my
events.
day.
Oh, I bet. You can kind of hear it in your voice too, man.
Oh, dude, I loved it. I loved it. The dog was great. I was like, okay, we'll probably take this dog home.
Well, look at this. We got Trev chiming in. Oh shit, 3 of my favorite people. He must have seen Luna in the chat too. So welcome, Trev. I'm glad you came to join us on this one. And like I said, we got Luna in the chat. So let me ask you something. You're talking about dogs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was like you were saying, most dogs won't let you pick them up right away. They're a little sketchy about that, which they should be, because they're leaving the ground in which they've always been accustomed to. But I'm an avid Joe Rogan podcast watcher. I don't care if people out there hate me for it.
Same. I love Joe Rogan.
Absolutely love it.
Yep.
I've heard him talk about dogs too, and like the fact that a dog, when they know you're a good person, you're not going to harm them. Yeah, you're a safe person.
Yep.
They usually will show you their belly. That's the way they tell you, hey, this is me at my most vulnerable. I'm trusting you. And when I think about things like that, I think about, how did we evolve from this animal that was out in the woods, from a wolf, to domesticate it to where we are now? And just we all know dogs and the human connection that we have with them. And it's like, no matter what happened outside of those 4 walls that you have for you, your family, the dog, when you come home, they're just there. They don't give a shit. They just want you and the attention you have to give to them. Very, very different from a cat. Very different from a cat.
See, I can counteract though with my cat though, is when I come home, I don't know how many mornings. So I work nights, of course, from midnight to 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm home about 8:30, 8:40-ish, depending on traffic and weather on the highway. And our cat has gone from being Snowy, who is still the TNT Women's Champion, by the way,
Yes.
has gone from being Luna's cat to my cat in a weird way in the last 2 years. It'll be in June. We've been living together for 2 years, but in the last year, so it all started during when me and Lou were doing TNT. I would sit here and be editing with the Xbox, and I would just kind of have everything hooked up to, because that was a lot of pictures, the website of WWE 2K, and so I'd have to do a lot of uploading. So I was at my desk a lot, and I was doing that between the Xbox and whatnot. I had the Xbox hooked up to the TV so I could look at my laptop over here and on the screen on my monitor. And during that, a lot of times Luna would be sleeping. This is before I switched to my job now, last year, or over a year ago, whatever. And Snowy would always be like, "Hey, can I come up and sit in your lap in the chair?" And so it was kind of hard to up here in the computer chair, but that's what she loved to do, is climb up here and sit on my lap. That's where it started. Well, now when I'm home, over in my recliner over here, which I have a recliner here and has a whole electric leg lift, whatever you want to call it. That part. And yeah, fuck mom, all dad, unless food. Exactly. Luna's not wrong. And so Snowy loves to sit in between my legs on the chair. She loves that, down between my legs. She'll sit right there and fall asleep. That's her favorite spot to be now. And a year ago, it really wasn't like that. She was very still I'll sit by you, I'll sit near you, but I won't sit on you. Now it's, oh, dad's home. Let's go sit in the chair, dad. Let's go. Come on, let's go. And there's plenty of times where Luna's not even awake, but Snowy will be at our apartment. We're one of the front apartments, so we're on the bottom floor, and we have a patio door, sliding glass door. She'll look out there and wait for me to come home. There's times where Luna says that she hears the truck and she'll run to the window and look out and wait. That's how much crazy. That cat is actually kind of like a dog at times, more than you think.
Yeah. And you run across cats like that. I had a cat I named Natas. Yes, that's Satan backwards. And she would, when all the friends would be sitting around smoking on the sectional, she would get to a point to where she got annoyed, and she would run up the back of it, swiping everybody in the back of the head. And then that was her way of getting you to play with her, because once somebody reacted to it, she was instantly in their lap, swatting at them and doing all that stuff.
She wanted attention.
Exactly. So I can see it. Yeah. Definitely that you get. Yeah, I don't know what the average is. Probably nobody knows of how many cats it takes for them to act like a dog and then start the process all over.
And some cats will just completely act like a dog at times. They're like, play with me, play. I want to. Snowy does the same thing. When she's bored, she'll run around a little bit out there in the living room area, and she'll do her howl. She'll do a howl and play with me, and then I'll come out there and play with her. Her favorite thing is she streams for me to get in the recliner. She does. Luna's not wrong. She does it all the time.
You gotta love that.
Let's go. Oh god, the cat. She's like, let's go in the room. Let's go in the game room. That's where I want to sit. That's my spot. Let's go. She's very bossy about it. I've never had a cat be like this ever. And Luna says she was never really like this. She said that before. She doesn't act like that. She's very much hey, you're here? Sure, I'll sit next to you. But when it comes to me, though, she's like, let's go. Let's get in there. I want to go sit down. I don't want to do anything else. Dad, sit in the chair, play games, watch YouTube, whatever. I just want to be right here. It's what she does all the time to me.
They're like a drug dealer. Hey,
she's addicted to it, man.
Yeah, you want to sit here. You know that. We know you want to play this game. Let's not hit each other. Yeah, you
exactly. Speaking of Snowy, hi, Snowy. Well, she's doing her thing right now. She's walking around my legs. She's like, Dad, let's go over here. You're not supposed to go over here.
You're not supposed to be over here.
Yep. She's doing it right now.
Well,
yeah, that's her thing.
Let's get the biggest thing that we would be talking about if this was an average day. Let's just get wrestling out of the way. where are you on wrestling as of late? What are you liking? What are you not liking?
So I'm not gonna lie, I watched. So when Crown Jewel happened, like what was that? 2 weeks ago,
I
right?
believe so.
Right, that was 2 weeks ago. Um, I told Luna, I was like, hey, Crown Jewel's on like right now. Like it was like around noon. I was like, it'll be starting pretty soon. Like, do you want to watch it? And we're like, she's like, sure, whatever. And I was smart enough to like start it when I knew like the kickoff show was gonna be over with and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was into the first match of the Bloodline match.
Oh, okay.
And like I rewinded it and I watched it and then I watched it. I'm like, that match sucked. It
You
sucked.
weren't a fan of it.
No, it was a botch match all over the place. The only spots they missed that were horrible. I was watching, I was like, God, that looked bad. That looked bad. That looked bad. It was so annoyingly bad and boring to me. I was just like, I'm not watching the rest of this. I don't like, I'm good. I'll watch YouTube later. And I know you guys all watch that stuff. I was like, I'll watch YouTube later and catch up on it, whatever, because WrestleMania will do their thing, or some other website will do, or some other wrestling channel will be like, oh, here's all the highlights and stuff. So I watch those a lot because otherwise I'm not into it. I like to keep up with it here and there and catch up with it. But the Bloodline stuff, honestly, I mean, other than I know last night there was the whole We're United thing between the four of them, which was kind of predictable. You knew Sammy's going to come back. You knew they were going to do it. Because my thing is, with Jay, he did the singles run, which was cool. I loved it. You know, I wish he was Intercontinental champ longer. Him and Sammy should have been Intercontinental champ a lot longer to me, but
hey, you're not speaking wrongs right now.
No, I'm not. I wish the two of them had a longer run as Intercontinental champ, and I do. And I've said this before. I hate the Intercontinental Championship. I don't like the way it looked. It reminded me of the Cruiserweight title when they brought it back. Actually, it kind of looked like that a little bit.
I know,
which I kind of liked it. And again, I'll say this: they should have kept using the Cruiserweight title as a minor league title. How they were doing, like, what was that main event or was it called 305 Live or whatever it was?
Yeah, 305 Live.
Yeah, and that was like their minor league, like, you know, show kind of. And I loved the Cruiserweight title run on there. It was doing really good back when Neville had it and everything there and all those guys. And I loved it back then. I still say they should have kept the title doing it. But
yeah,
a lot of people agree with that. I know a lot of people do. But I think Jay and Sammy should have had a longer run as Intercontinental champs. I loved it. Oh, dude, you have no clue. Me and Luna cheered so hard when Sammy won the title. Oh God, I was ecstatic, dude. I loved seeing him do it because I've been wanting him to win a title because my favorite match, actually, he lost, which was him against Roman at in Toronto. At what was that? What was that, Backlash?
I can't remember.
What was it when they were in Canada?
But I know exactly the match you're talking about.
Yeah, dude, that was my favorite match of his ever. That was a good match. It was a great match. Oh, even though he lost it, I will say it was his best match ever. I loved it. And then I liked what they did with the Intercontinental title, of how they put that little bit of blue in there when Jay had it. I liked it. It was a throwback to the old title. And I liked what they did. A little bit of blue in there made it look popped out, and it wasn't just black and gold and boring. It looked good.
No,
it looked really good.
I think you're hitting some valid points that have been brought out by many people, and yeah, they could have definitely Sammy, I think, could have went maybe two or three more PLEs before it would have made more sense for him to drop it. Jay, though, I still think he should have the title. I think he should have went back into the Bloodline with the title. Just to look at Roman and be like, this is what you gave up. You gave up on me, and now you see I have gold. You don't. And then play off of that for what
I think one of them. No, continue. Go ahead.
No, I was pretty much finished with that. I was actually going to ask you if you've seen this NXT ECW tribute.
I did watch parts of that. I watched the highlights of that, and I was so ecstatic about it. And of course, everybody wanted to see the 3D through the table, but of course, Devon can't because he's not medically cleared, of course. Which we wanted to see. God, I wanted to see him go through the table together. I wanted to see that. I wanted to see the split legs too, head first. I really wanted to see it. I wanted to see it so bad, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I like seeing RVD. Of course, RVD he's on a Legends contract, so he's gonna come back. And so is the 3D boys. Dudley boys are on Legends contracts too now. So
Yeah.
I mean,
if they play off of what they did with Tricks of Dudley.
Oh yeah.
So
said that they wanted to fight 3D and or the Dudley boys. It was on Twitter and somebody mentioned it, and Bubba is like, "Hey, Devon, we're gonna have to like jump in or whatever." I remember the Twitter post happened like not too long ago, or on X, whatever. But that it was mentioned. He's like, we might have to jump back in because somebody said that they would have liked to fight the Dudley boys. It was something like that. Somebody in NXT said that they would have liked the challenge or to take them on or something, or fight with them one time.
Well, then
I can't remember who it was.
They obviously have never watched a Dudley Boys match from back in the day because
I know, right?
The last two people you would want to challenge to a fight. But
yeah,
I thought it was a great one. And me and House have been covering ECW on Friday nights. We've dived into that watch along, and it's been fun. And for everything to kind of move in a similar pattern and it all work out that we're doing this, they're doing the ECW thing. We would like really to see them continue this, and maybe possibly like every year do a November to Remember would be spectacular.
Dude, like one throwback to ECW just in the building once a year would be cool. And think of it, if that's on the NXT schedule and people know about it, that's going to ramp up numbers and be like, oh shit, they're going back to the ECW building. Let's get tickets and go.
Oh,
you kidding me? That's going to be huge for them.
I know our mutual friend Grunmeister would definitely try to get some tickets because it would be out in his neck of the woods. And we got the Lou chiming in, part of the Buddies. He is the leader. We watch him, and he is
the loser. Hey, did you know that Lou's never seen Die Hard?
Oh, here we go. We got Luna knows who's here.
Yeah, Lou's never seen Die Hard. What a loser.
Poor Lou. He last night, I will say, was one of the
that was hilarious last night. It was great.
Such a blast. Fans go.
Oh my god, all the movie descriptions about like whatever was great from you and Trev. Oh, I was fucking dying. Yeah, god, you would chime in with them and I was fucking dying, man. Oh shit.
Sometimes I sit there and I watch him and I can hear the fun that can be had. And last night was just one of those moments and everybody just had such a blast. It was a great time. Look at that. We got DJ
like
Kobe
my favorite moments.
Yeah, go ahead, Viking.
My favorite moments are when I get Lou to read the comment and he's just like, oh shit, and he turns away laughing. Yeah. It's my favorite thing to do to him of all time. And I'll be like waiting, like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna read it? Like, come on, you gotta fucking read it. It was a good one. I know it's gonna make you laugh. And I'm waiting on it. I love doing that to him.
I'm gonna tell you this. We probably sit there and do the same thing with that thought pattern because
I know you do.
I catch myself. I'm like, all right, Lou, just get done. We go into a commercial break. I'll be like, okay, I got him. I got to keep it for right now because I know once everybody gets back in, this is going to be funny.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's a great time over there.
It was. But back to wrestling thing. Yeah, no. I mean, we know it's going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline Survivor Series. That's obvious. But again, I'm so sick of you can dying down with the Bloodline hype. And I'm like, WWE's fucking this up. They're fucking that up. Like, they need to do this, that. Like, and you can tell that. And I'm like, you got to let the Bloodline thing go for a little bit. Just let it go away for a little bit, and then they reel it back in, which they've been doing for the last few years really well. I'm not going to lie, when it was Roman dominating and they all had gold, when they were at their, you could see it.
Yeah.
As much as I hate Roman, I liked seeing what WWE was doing and how much WWE was as big as they could ever be at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong on that one.
No, and they've been doing great. And you can't you gotta let some things go and bring some things back. And you see that with storylines and whatnot, of course, where they just kill it off and like, okay, that's good. Let's move on. And so. But yeah, no, other than that, I'm paying attention to it somewhat here and there. I'm not watching everything, but I'm catching what I can. And that's why I love watching WrestleMania stuff, because they'll tell you what was good, what was bad, what's going on and whatnot. They do a lot of that. And again, it surprised me so much last week when I seen the Jacob Fatu thing that they brought up, that I said that clip, and you posted that picture. By the way, I don't think my cousin even knows about that he paid it back to Jake's network. I don't
no
think
one knew
he
about it.
knows. I don't
No,
think
I
my cousin
mean,
does, because
you even have
the
Sean
funny-
Ross who didn't know.
no, they didn't know. And my cousin, funny enough, a couple hours later, reposted the poster that they were using for that event that he was supposed to show up to, and he's like, still didn't show. And he's like, didn't show. You can tell he was salty about it. I can tell that I re-triggered that anger towards it. I was like, oh fuck, did I do something bad?
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, this is the whole thing with it. Because we all know a few of us have been a part of promotions where maybe Jacob took the money and didn't show up. I know I have. I know it kind of ruined one of the biggest nights of that promotion, and one of my biggest nights I would have had. I was actually scheduled to do something in the ring with him. So that was going to be like my mark to get my name out there. But
dude,
time goes on. I'm here doing what I do. There has been some where he has repaid. It just wasn't known. It wasn't let out. Yeah, it's crazy in the indie world. I mean, right now I'm in the middle of, and you know what? This is going to, you know what? It's time to get the pipe bomb going. I'm going to take a part out of CM Punk's book. There's some groups around me that you've been fucking up behind the scenes, and some people are catching on to it. So I'll leave it there with that. We'll continue that later on when certain things drop.
oh
But,
shit.
oh yeah, I'll talk to you offline about this.
Yeah,
I'm not ready to let this
that
one go, but it's been in me all day, and I've just been seeing shit about it, and it's just, it's really.
I mean, hey man, all I'm gonna say right now, because we'll talk about it later, but you gotta call people on their shit though when they're fucking up.
Yeah,
especially in the wrestling world, especially in indie wrestling. Like, if you're doing bad, you got to be called out on your bullshit.
No, I 100%
livelihoods.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that, and that's where my fuel has been burning. And if Window Liquor's out there, you know the interview I'm talking about. Well, just know the voice has been doing his digging, and I have found so much more on it. I can't wait to expose all that. So stay tuned for that. That's coming down the line. But we're here. Right now we are talking to the sailor of the seas, Viking Storm himself. He has just come into dock. He gave us some time before him and Luna, go and hang out. And it sounds like get a dog. Sounds like you're getting a dog, my friend.
Yeah, we're getting a dog, definitely. If hopefully everything goes through, and we will be getting Lucy, definitely. I'm looking forward to getting her. I really am. She's a good dog, and she'd be good for us. Yes, we are excited about it. But back to what Luna said though, Jacob Fatu is a good fucking wrestler, and I will, as much as it pissed me off what he does, I'm gonna say his work ethic is fucking amazing. The dude can wrestle. If you look at his indie videos, like people record him at indie events, like on the road, the dude can wrestle. He's amazing what he can do. He does he does bigger shit than he needs to do at shows, and that's what really set him apart. And I will say it all day. He's a great wrestler. He really is. But it's just doing those things of fucking over indie promotions and not showing up is what pissed people off. And he's done it more than once. Yeah. And that's where I draw the line. I'm like, all right, get it. You're a piece of shit. I don't want anything to do with you.
And that's fair because, you got firsthand experience with it. You understand the letdown that people do get when they expect it. And I can understand an injury, something happening like that, but completely to do no shows, that's kind of aggravating. That's where we need to clean up the industry and make it better.
Yeah. And the supposed thing is that he didn't show up to the Jake's Hope Miracle Network because that event that Frontline Pro is in part with, which is, of course, my cousin's. I say my cousin, but I have to remind people he's not actually my cousin. He is my stepmom's cousin, but it's just easier to say cousin.
Yeah.
My dad and stuff, he sponsors it through his construction, and he's a big part of it. He helped pay him and my stepmom, who, if I say stepmom, I actually mean my mom, because to this day I always call her my mom. She is my mom to me. My real mom I don't even talk to. My stepmom's my mom, plain and simple. I would consider her my mom. Yeah. But they paid for the titles that they're actually in the promotion in Frontline. He helped pay for those, the new ones and everything. The next big thing is to get, I think it's a new ring mat again, or a new ring. The old one's getting there. You can tell it's been in production since last year. Last summer I think they got the new one. You can tell it's getting there, where they need a new ring mat and stuff, and I think they're going to get a new ring eventually. That's their next big thing. Again, Frontline Pro is completely for charity most of the time. Ben pays his wrestlers and himself, but it's mostly for veterans suicide awareness. A lot of times, in veterans, to help them. A lot of the proceeds go towards that. A lot of those projects. He helps out with that so much, because Ben himself he's a veteran. He was shot in combat. He actually has a bullet. He was shot, and that's when he retired. I mean, it's the reason why his nickname is Bulletproof Ben McCoy. But now he's known as the creator. He's done the heel run. I can't take him seriously because I know Ben. And it's just hilarious to me. Like, when he's trying to be the heel, it's just like I'm laughing the whole time. So is my dad. So is my uncle. And we think it's hilarious. I even talked to my uncle last time we were there, and I was like, I can't take Ben seriously. I can't. He's like, me neither. I can't do it. We try to, but like, to me, it's just hilarious to see Ben try to be a heel and a bad guy. And he does it pretty well, but I can't take him seriously because I think it's funny, because I know the guy way too well. And I'm like, he'd never be this much of an asshole. He's an asshole, but he's a good asshole. Like, he would never be this style, and you can tell. I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I find myself that way too now that I've become friends with a lot of these indie guys, and knowing their personas. I like the ones, some of my friends out there, they have different personas for different promotions. So that's always even more fun to me. It's like, who am I talking to today? And then you're talking to your friend, asshole.
I actually sent the clip to Lou the other day. Joe Hendry actually wrestled with the guy that I know very well.
Oh yeah.
His name is Joey Avalon out in the indie world.
Okay.
And he comes around. He wears bandanas. He's got long blonde hair, and he comes with a shovel. His name is Joey Avalon.
Did he get a special song?
I don't. I think they did, but I only caught the clips of it. It was for Midwest Wrestling, I think, is the promotion.
Okay.
It's MW with a pink and red. I think that's the name of it. It's out of Minnesota, I believe. But it's funny. The guy that Joe Hendry pinned in this championship tag team match, they won it. The guy he pinned is actually my best friend's cousin that Joe Hendry pinned. Yeah, his name is Aaron Arsenal. He's known as the hipster hunk on the indie circuit. And Aaron Arsenal, and that's the guy he pinned. And yeah, it was hilarious to see this, because he's like, I'm gonna kick Joe Hendry in his Scottish jewels or something, he said. And then it was hilarious to watch the bits in the match. But he got pinned by Joe Hendry, and I was like, shit. I forget Joe Hendry's not exclusively through WWE, but he's TNA, and so they can go and do the indie stuff. Yeah, and he's not the only one that does that. So
Joe Hendry's he's definitely
he is a
in the wrestling world.
Yes, his whole style of doing things is just unprecedented. It's unique, and that's what makes him a big name to a lot of companies. And I like seeing him get that recognition too. Yeah, like he could be definitely a main event star in WWE, and I can see it just because of his entrance song and how catchy it is, and him being like this. He's a face, and he's very good at what he does. He has that good style, and I love it.
No,
it's fun to watch him.
He gets it. He gets where the evolution of wrestling is today and how to keep yourself relevant. And
I mean,
Joe Hendry knows what he's doing.
because look at Clash of the Castle when he bought up all those billboards.
Yeah.
He bought up all those billboards and put his face on there with Joe Hendry, and it was all over Ireland. Was it Ireland or Scotland they went to?
I think it was Scotland.
Yeah, all over the UK.
Yeah, it was the McIntyre stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's been Scotland.
Yeah, and but when they did Clash of the Castle this year or whatever that was, yeah, he bought up all those billboards all over the town to say Joe Hendry, and like he did that on purpose. It was hilarious.
Yeah, he's a genius behind what
he is
out there.
He's really good at, because the Joe Hendry thing of say his name and he appears and he shows up like his great tagline. It's great. It keeps you interested.
Yeah, and people wait for the clap. When you get people waiting for a movement, then you know you got them in the palm of your hand.
Exactly.
In the wrestling world.
Exactly.
Well, moving outside of the wrestling world, have you been seeing any new movies out there lately that have been piquing your interest?
The last few movies me and Luna watched, we like last week I think we watched. You ever heard the animated movie Dinosaur? Like literally the Disney one. It wasn't Pixar, but it was Disney. It was just called Dinosaur.
No.
It was like made like 20 something years, like 24 years ago. And I told Luna, I was like, I had that movie. We just never watched it. I was like, we should watch it. Cause I was like, yeah. No, in the last year, actually, Luna is a big dinosaur fan of all dinosaurs, but she's never seen Jurassic Park. And that's a long story too. Don't knock her for not seeing movies.
No.
Okay, hold on. I'll explain why. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll explain why. Her ex is a piece of shit that I will say it publicly. If I ever see him, I'm going to fucking beat the shit out of him to a bloody pulp. Like, cops will have to fucking arrest me if I ever see this guy.
Good God.
He was very controlling, and he was all about, it's what I want to do, and he was that type. And so Luna didn't get a lot of freedom in getting to watch what she wanted or do what she wanted.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of things that I've introduced her to and shown her, like she's like, wow, I love this. And now Jurassic Park is the big one. This year, there was a whole pack on Xbox store, on the Microsoft Xbox store, that had like all the movies in a bundle. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy them for like $30 and we'll watch them. And so we watched them, and she loved it. She loved all of it. Oh, and so, yes, I've introduced her to Jurassic Park. She loves it. She has I found when we were at the there's a Funko Pop store over in Eau Claire, Wisconsin here, and the mall. And our mall is the mall there is very big, and it's the PopCon store, I think it's called.
Okay.
And they have pops all over the place. And this was back for her birthday in August. We were there. And she's like, what should we do? I'm like, why don't we go there for your birthday and like just see what we can buy and find, like cool shit. Like, let's go collect collectibles, whatever. And I found the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park, and she loved it. And I was like, I'm gonna buy you this one. It's all yours. She's like, thank you. And she loves that one. So yeah.
I mean, first off, because it's so goddamn relevant, we should have had her and Lou in the shame corner last night.
They both be in it with Misfit.
Jesus Lord.
Yes.
Jurassic Park is one of the classics.
I know. But I fixed that, and she's seen them all now.
Well, I am glad you fixed that, because
yes. She was sheltered. Her mom is also the type that was like, that's for boys.
See, that's when you hit them with one of these.
Shut up.
Yeah, you just hit him with a Cam Patterson. Shut up.
Bro.
You don't exist.
Right, bro. But like, yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff. We watched all those. We watched Fall Guy recently. We watched that. Our favorites were have you seen the movie Abigail?
Abigail.
Our girl?
No.
Oh, dude, it's great. It's on Peacock if you have it. It's really good. It was amazing. We watched that, and then we watched The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Okay.
The one about Dracula being transferred across the ocean on a boat.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, it was good. It was so fucking good. I was like, God, this is a sequel. It would do great.
That's
It was so good.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean
We watched those.
the concept itself doesn't,
It's based
it's
on
like
the part of
what?
Dracula. So it's based out of the Dracula book. It's specifically on the part of him crossing the ocean. That's what it's based on from the
Well,
Dracula, from Bram Stoker's Dracula.
and you being Viking Storm, you're very used to the oceans. You are no stranger to them. So,
Yeah.
well, if you guys like creepy movies, I just went a couple weeks ago. Took the two of the daughters, 13 and 14, and the 14-year-old's boyfriend went with us, and the 13-year-old brought a friend. So, young children, we
Mm-hmm.
took them to go see Terrifier 3.
Oh, three.
They all,
We just watched the first one because like I was told Luna, I was like, I keep seeing the clips, like, but I've never seen the movie like anywhere online, or like it's kind of hard to find it. It was on Peacock. I'm like,
yep.
hell, why don't we watch it? Because I keep seeing the clips, like I want to watch it. To us, it's fucking hilarious because he does everything silently and his reactions are just funny as shit.
Well,
Oh.
let me tell you, if they have a Terrifier 4, you and Luna come with me and my kids, because that is exactly what we love about these movies.
Exactly. It was hilarious.
His fucking face. Like, let me tell you something. Like, they did something that I have never seen in any horror movie. I've been 41
They made you
years.
like the serial killer.
Oh
They made you
man.
like him. They make you like him. Like it's kind of funny as shit. Because like the first one, he saws this chick upside down, right through her crotch, all the way down to her face. In the first movie, I was like, you watch him do this, he's just happy about it, like, and like the next scene, he's riding around on a fucking tricycle or whatever it was, that little bike in the first, in like that one scene, and he crashes it, and he's just riding around a circle, fucking up. Like you seen it, he's running around a circle, and he has to stop himself and catch himself and get back on it. It was hilarious. Oh God, he's funny as shit to watch. And me and Luna said, I was like, we were both like, man, I bet like the people trying to film this are dying trying to watch it because it's funny as shit.
Oh, it is so funny. Like I won't ruin any of the third one.
No, because we have to see the second and third one still. Yeah.
But there are going to be in the third one. See, to me, the second one was they got a little bit more money so they could do a little more with it. So
yeah, because the clips all look more high end too.
Yeah, so the whole movie as itself is a little more, you can see the money getting put into it.
Mm-hmm.
But this third one, dude, this is insane. I highly recommend it. Even if, well, I won't say even
so
if you
people,
don't like horror movies.
Before you say that, before you recommend it, like it has to be a person that's like, okay, I'm okay with dark humor, like really fucked up humor. Like you have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the old like 80s and early 90s, like
Freddy Krueger's kind of style.
Almost. Yeah, and like Freddy's humor, pretty much, but times 100 without a voice. And I know that sounds weird, but I fucking absolutely love these movies.
Yep.
I think they're great. The whole concept, the whole idea of Art the Clown and being quiet and doing these things is just, I don't know, it cracks me the fuck up. And
it's great about it.
We got so many looks.
Oh God, it was hilarious.
We're just a family of 5, or there were 6 of us there just laughing.
You know what though? The thing is, the people that give the looks are the ones that don't understand that dark humor style. Yeah. You can tell they're the shelter type that never watched the bad shit online, who don't understand the concept of that like style. They didn't grow up with that. It's just those types, you can tell.
Yeah. And I grew up with some friends that, I don't know if you remember this, but rotten.com.
Mm-hmm.
They love to take just screenshots of it and put it up as a screensaver for the living room computer. So you'll be sitting there and then all of a sudden you'll look over and it is the worst picture you've ever seen. Yeah. Oh, I hated that stuff.
Oh God. Shit.
We got Luna chiming in. None of the scary stuff bothers me because I listen and watch true crime and horror movies. That's true.
So like speaking of like stuff that's similar to true crime, have you ever watched True Detective? The one with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson?
Dude, I've had so many people recommend this, and I've
Dude.
still yet to watch it.
Dude, it's such a good show. The first season. I don't mean I didn't want the second season was good. It was pretty good. I haven't watched past that, but the first season is Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson down in Louisiana, I think it is.
Yeah.
Or Texas. It's down south, and they're trying to find like these honestly, I could forget the premise of it a little bit, but it was just a really good fucking show. It was so good. I watched it years ago when it came out on HBO, like the first year, and I remember that's when like the HBO app was a huge thing, and I had it on my phone, and I would watch it like at work and stuff, and like I'd watch it in my spare time and like go to bed and like watch an episode, go to bed. And that's what I was doing. That show is so fucking good. Like I strongly recommend to watch True Detective if you're into those kind of shows and movies. Yeah. Another one is it's got what's his name? Negan. The guy that's Negan, Supernatural. He's the boys' dad. He plays Negan in The Walking Dead. I can't remember his name.
I honestly I've watched
I know
seasons.
his face, but I don't know his I don't know his name. But it's got him and he was Mason in Call of Duty. He's Mason in COD in Black Ops, and he's also he was in the remake of Wrath of the Titans. I don't remember his name. I know he's a British guy, but they did a movie together called it was the Texas Killing Fields, and it was based on a true story. Yeah, it's based on a true story down there. Jeffrey D. Morgan. Yes, thank you, hon. That's his name, Jeffrey D. Morgan. Yeah, he's the boys' dad in Supernatural, and he's Negan in The Walking Dead. Him and the other guy who played in Wrath of the Titans. You could Google that, please, hon. That'd be great. I don't know his name, but he's Mason in Call of Duty in Black Ops. He plays Mason. Mason, the numbers. That Mason. And they did a movie called The Texas Killing Fields, and it's all about this serial killer that just leaves bodies to rot out in the swamps and everything, and they're trying to solve it. It's a low budget movie, but it's one of the best fucking low budget like detective serial killer stories I've ever watched ever. It was very enticing.
That
was very good to watch.
That might have been Stephen King's MO. I believe he
kind of. I don't know if it's based on a book, but I think it is based on a book. I think he's a serial also a true story.
I just think he's a serial killer. And I was right with Garth Brooks being a horrible person. So,
I'm still on. Have you seen the shit about that recently? It's still a thing going on. Everybody's like, no, he's a serial killer.
Well, did you see that his
honey, that's 2020. That's not the original.
His makeup artist and everything.
Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington. Oh, that's who you were speaking of.
Yes, he's the British guy, and he's like British, and he does Wrath of the Titans, and he's the voice of Mason in the original Black Ops until Cold War when they replaced Mason and Woods.
Okay. Yeah, I see Garth Brooks. Let me go back into that because
we did this last time too with the Garth Brooks thing, by the way.
Yeah, well, there's been a fucking update. I hope you.
Oh yeah, I know. There's been a lot of them because it's the one guy, the one celebrity is all about it. The one isn't a rapper, I think it is.
No, Tom Segura
keeps giving shit about it.
Tom Segura has been doing.
Yeah, Tom Segura is, and they have a whole war about it.
Okay, so Garth Brooks has actually had his makeup artist come out and from years ago and claim that there's been some horrible shit that's happened.
I heard about this.
Pull this up. Yeah, so Garth Brooks files to move sexual assault lawsuit to federal court. So this is going deep. And I think what's going to happen here is some things are going to come out about Garth Brooks because fans, let me talk to you about this. Let me talk to you, okay? So Garth Brooks is a psycho. There is no doubt about it. He is a psycho. I know there's a lot of jokes being made out there, and Tom Segura has started this motion that he believes that there's a chance that he hides bodies in the towns that he goes and performs in. And I know you're like, whoa, that's crazy talk. But if you look it up.
Oh, no, I'm on the same line about it.
Yeah, those things line up. So,
Yep.
I mean, we, and I think it all happened during the Chris Gaines years. I think he was he dabbled in a little weirdness, and maybe things got out of control. And ever since then, he's been trying his ass off to hide all that shit. So,
And then all of a sudden, you got to remember too. All of a sudden, Garth Brooks became all about religion very fast. All of a sudden,
mm,
very fast. And his last album, when he did like his return, was all like very religious, and his songs were, and like it was just weird to see Garth Brooks going from the badass country singer he was, Thunder Rolls and all that shit, and just rodeo, and
you
like
know,
all those kick ass songs to what? Like, what is he doing? Like, nobody wants to hear this. And
uh,
plenty of people said they hated it. Like, they were expecting Garth Brooks to do this shit. Like, what?
yeah. And I mean, back when we were younger, he was Walmart's sweetheart. He was
He was the
everywhere in
fucking
Walmart.
king of country for a while, man. He
He
was.
was. Yeah,
He
now
was.
he's got a bar in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's still making money, but I'm just saying, get ready for the news to drop that that dude's not all
Oh,
that
yeah.
he seems to be. So I had to bring that up. I remember we talked about it. So
We did.
and since then there has been some. I mean, he's pushing it to federal court. That kind of opens up a whole new can of worms for you once you get up into those
Yeah.
courts. So good luck to him. He's got a legal team, so hopefully they know what the hell they're doing. It's not just like
Yeah.
out of his documentary where his friends are getting on there. Garth Brooks could throw a football over a mountain. I watched him do it. Like these guys were like, they were like just taking shots to his face. Just a Garth Brooks, just give me your juice. I like it was a go and watch that A&E documentary if you haven't. You're gonna have a fun time. Get a nice rolled bone up, start smoking on it, and just watch that. You're
Yeah.
gonna love it.
I'm going to
So
be really high to watch that one.
oh, it's a good one. Well, speaking of music, Viking, let's go. Let's dabble into the music world. Where are you at lately? Are you a guy who
Oh.
you like the older stuff? You're going to stick to that, listening to that,
Mm.
or do you invite the newer music
So
coming out in?
it all depends on what it is, what I'm listening to at the time. I mean, my playlist, I have YouTube music, so I play a lot of my favorites, but then there'll be like bands like I like, and I just start playing it, one of the songs, and it'll catch on to like other like related stuff, and it'll just put it in the playlist as it goes around because it just keeps it random. So there's a lot of stuff that kicks in. I'm like, damn, that's good. Like my recent one really kick, and they released albums or re-released this year. Yeah, 88's music list. Yep, that's what mine is. But have you ever heard the band called The Devil Inside?
No, I have not.
They're not a very well known band, but they have stuff out there, and like they get kickoffs here and there, and like their stuff has been coming across my playlist a lot lately, like a lot. So I've been into
Okay.
them quite a bit. Weirdly enough, actually, a video game music actually is what kicked off my rant of like certain genre of like I call it like cowboy like metal in a way,
Okay.
and that's kind of what The Devil Inside is. Kind of like Pantera, Cowboys from Hell, like that style, like that. I call it like metal cowboys. What it is basically,
Okay.
it's like
Okay, I
that
got what you
Western
mean.
cowboy kick, but with like metal mixed in out of nowhere and does it really subtly. Like I like those bands. The game Wreckfest is actually what kicked off this kind of genre for me because the music from that game I got really into, and there's a song called War in there from the Wreckfest album from the game, and playing that, and like a lot of those songs like Another Level, that's a big song that came really big over the last few years, and there's other ones. Look at my playlist, I'll probably find most of them. Yeah, but The Devil Inside is one that has really kicked it off for me. There's a lot of other ones. Queensryche has been coming across my playlist a lot lately. Hardy, of course, is a big one for me. I like Hardy. I really do. He's good.
Okay.
Miracle of Sound kicks off once in a while. Let me see. Tim Montana. He's actually been getting bigger and bigger. His song Savage is on the radio now. He actually started. I found him from, funny enough, YouTube. Black Rifle Coffee Company. He's really good friends with them, And I would see his stuff pop up, and he did songs with Matt Best from Black Rifle Coffee Company, who's part owner. And he did songs with him during like COVID. They did a COVID song, and his stuff would kick off. Payne Parrish is a big one for me, of course. That makes sense. He does a lot of Viking music, a lot of stuff like that. Have you ever heard of Smash Into Pieces?
No, you're speaking Japanese to me right now, man.
Smash Into Pieces is probably a band you would be into. They're pretty good.
All right.
A lot of their stuff will kick in. Yeah, music-wise, I've been all the place. Cooper Allen is a throwback to me every once in a while. I like his shit. If you know who he is, he does like To the Bar. There's a couple songs. He got big on TikTok doing like these he would do these remixes of country songs and just go along with it and like make up words and kind of just recreate a song. And he got really big with that. And now he's really big actually in the music scene. What he does. He goes on tour. My biggest one for the last few years have been Warren Zeiders, if you know who that is.
Absolutely.
He's fucking huge, dude. He's gotten so big now. Warren is a mega star now. Like he went from being on the indie scene, like just like Jelly Roll on the indie scene for a while, and then we like your music. Hey, you might get this. Like if you want to go and do this, like we'll do it. And he's gotten record deals now and stuff. And Warren's gotten bigger and bigger. He is my all-time favorite. Tyler Childers is another one that I like too. You know who he is? He's not the
it's like
Housefire is what he sings. Well, did you play 2K23? Is it 23? 23. He's actually on there. Tyler Childers' Housefire is on the album.
Viking
2K23.
Here's my when I'm playing a video game, I usually have like a video playing or I'm watching somebody stream and I have the game on mute and just the captions up. So
got you.
Like to me look, I have to go back to it. 9 Inch Nails is the ultimate video game music makers, in my opinion.
You're not wrong.
And if they're not making that soundtrack, it's hard to get me to listen to it. I'm interested in bands that take the base of what I like, which is like heavy metal. I love Southern rock. I love
You should definitely look up The Devil Inside then.
Yeah, well, I did. I looked them up as you were talking about them, and then I got into. Have you ever heard of moancore metal songs?
That sounds familiar.
So what this is during the breakdown of a metal song, a hardcore song, there's usually that little bit of silence. Well, in that little bit of silence, they moan. The lead singer moans. And
what the fuck?
But here's the crazy shit. It fucking works. It sounds so insane. I listened to a song, it was like a week ago, and I was talking to a buddy at work, and I was like, have you heard this shit? Moancore? And yeah, it's straight up hardcore music. What you love, just going aggressive, and then they'll be like, oh, like out of nowhere. And you're like, what? And it's like, back into the break. And you're like, wow, it works. It's weird. And like Luna's saying that the women, they do it. This is the usually when I see it now, it's a woman lead singer of a heavy hardcore band, and it just it fucking works. I mean, I'm a fan of Arch Enemy. I think just the amount of scream and anger and angst that comes through the lyrics, that's some of the best. And like I said, video games, Trent Reznor, he hooked me, and it's like his music understands video games and that world.
Right.
And it flows so perfectly. I don't know if we even really talked about music with each other besides.
Not really. I mean, I'm always open to suggestions. Like one of my throwbacks always, because the first WWE Raw is Union Underground, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Across the Nation is one of the best songs ever, and I will fight anybody on that. Union Underground did some of the best music ever. Fuck yeah. Across the Nation is one of the greatest songs ever made. I will fight people on that.
You ain't wrong on that one.
And like them and Power Man 5000 are my two like throwbacks. Like I will fucking jam out to. And the Offspring.
I love. I was a huge fan of the Offspring up until they kicked out the drummer, just because he had that disease and he couldn't get the vaccine. He just couldn't, because he would die. He doesn't have any vaccines because he's allergic to what they put into it. So
are you talking about the coof? Like he couldn't that disease? I don't know what you're talking about exactly. Like, I don't think I was paying attention to it.
It's Gerbraun something. It's a long name.
Oh, is it a certain like disease he couldn't get and the vaccine?
No, he has the specific disease that he has is in conjunction with getting a vaccine. If he were to get the vaccine, it would kill him. And it's not just the COVID one. Like he didn't have any of the vaccines because there was something wrong with his body. Like his body just did not do
like
that.
A medical miracle, basically, that can't have this and that. Yep.
It's Geron something. I'll have to look it up and send it.
I think I may have heard of that, maybe.
But yeah, it's the drummer has it. I believe the drummer was Pete something.
Huh.
But yeah, he has it. He couldn't get it. But besides that, I mean, I do love old Offspring. I'm just angry that they did that, because
Have you ever listened to Blackstone Cherry?
Well, I've seen Blackstone Cherry live at a festival where there was
I've seen them in this town live back when the Blame It on the Boom Boom album came out back in 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
What that was? That album came out. It's the Deep Blue Sea album, whatever it is. It's got a long name. It's a really long name for an album. But when that album came out, they were huge. And I got to see them up here at the county fair up in this town that I live in, where I live in, where Brother Cobe lives in, Grizz. We all live up here. Actually, Cobe lives literally like 5-10 minutes down the road from me. I was literally just at his house earlier too to drop off the 2 million Scoville chocolate bar he'll be eating on stream. I don't know if he already did it. He may have done it. I'm not sure. I know he went live, but I don't know if I missed it or not. But yeah, I brought it to him because he's going to eat it today. But yeah, otherwise he'll let me know. Blackstone Cherry is one of my all-time favorite bands. Ever since Blind Man came out in their first album, Blind Man, I heard it on back in the day when we had Sirius XM. Do you remember the cable TV, like Charter, had the music channels you could listen to? There was a black screen. It was like Sirius XM. I would listen to the one rock station all the time, and as a background on the TV while I was gaming or whatever. And that was the TV channel I'd just play the music or fall asleep to. And I heard Blind Man on there for the first time, and I was hooked. I was hooked on Blackstone Cherry. I've loved them ever since. They're a great band. They had that Southern rock thing. Actually, the lead singer is he's inspired by Elvis and everything. I just seen a clip from him the other day. He's into Elvis. Aerosmith is his favorite band. He's inspired by that stuff. And yeah, he's a big Elvis fan. And his genre, the way he does it, is just unique of rock. And I mean, he's popular from here to over in Europe. They love them.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing with them. As soon as you said their name, the story came flooding back to my head. The year before their very first hit song really popped off on all the radios, it was a summer before. They were touring down south, and they were on tour with Hawthorne Heights, and so they were playing a festival called the Jubilee Jam, and downtown where I was living in Mississippi was Jackson, Mississippi.
Isn't this a big festival? Excuse me, just hold on. Isn't this a big ass festival, right? Jubilee Jam? Because I've heard of that before. It's a big ass rock concert.
It was a huge.
It's like our rock fest up here. Yeah.
Yes. So the years I went when I was living down there, they were redoing it. They were trying to make it bigger and better than what it was years prior. So they get Hawthorne Heights for the first night to close out the show. And that afternoon, Blackstone Cherry was slated to play. I was looking forward to this festival all year long. I
Mm-hmm.
was ready to go. So I was there every day at opening. And there was usually maybe like 25 people behind me, because it's an all day festival. So I'm down there, Blackstone Cherry's playing. There's like 4 people that are right there. And then there's like maybe 20 to 30 people out in the back where that you can sit down and watch. So I'm right up there, stage, looking right at the lead singer. He's looking right at me. We're, just connecting, having a lot of fun
Right.
throughout the show. The guitarist is like getting in my face, playing guitar solos. I'm rocking out. So the show, they get done playing. Later on, I'm walking around. I see them just sitting. No one's bugging them. No one's even acknowledging their presence. I walk up to them. I'm like, whoa, you guys are Blackstone Cherry. What are you guys doing out here? Like, shouldn't you be in your tour bus? They're like, we're waiting for Hawthorne Heights to get done. We're on tour with them. We're leaving. And I sat down. The people I was with, the girl I was dating, her younger brother was with me, and he was a drummer. So the drummer sat with him and talked with him for like 30 minutes about drumming and showing him little techniques.
Dude.
I stood and talked to the lead singer. I offered him a little bit of Jack. He's like, nah, man, we don't drink. We don't do drugs. We don't do anything really. We just play music. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah. I was having them autograph like cigarette packs and stuff. And they were finding it so funny because they're like, we don't do any of this stuff. So,
Yeah, no, they don't. They're very celibate with that stuff. Like, yeah.
But
yeah, no, dude, that's awesome because they are a great band. Like I said, ever since the Blind Man album came out, that was their first big hit. Yeah. And when it was on the radio, and I was like, God, I like this song. I like Blind Man. It sounds good. And then, funny enough, over the years they had more albums. I was like, fuck yeah, another album, cool. The next year, and like White Trash Millionaire and When I'm Gone were on. Their songs were on NASCAR games actually back in the day.
Oh,
okay.
Like
White Trash Millions on there, and When I'm Gone was on there, and like some of their songs were on games, and I was like, this is fucking cool that they're on here. I'm a fan of theirs, and I got more into them. And then, yeah, it was like 2010 or 2011. I can't remember which year it was, but they were here when the Blame It on the Boom Boom, the Deep Blue Sea album came out, and I was like, fuck yeah, I love this band. I'm gonna go see them. It was a great fucking show. It was awesome. It was one of the best shows I've ever seen. They were awesome. I wish I could have met them. I didn't meet them, but I have a similar story to you meeting them. Here's the thing. In my hometown, where me and Kolb and Grizz are from, and where Ice lives, we're all from the same town. Okay. And our fair used to be really cool back in the day. Like, I've gotten to meet Alice Cooper and have a 10-minute conversation with him. Like, when he was there, he would sit and talk to everybody. He didn't exclude anyone. If you're there in line to talk to him, he was very grateful. He's all like, yeah, I'll sign it. And he would talk to you and just have a 10-minute conversation with you about your day, your life. You want to know everybody. Yeah. One of the greatest people I've ever met is Alice Cooper. I will die on that hill. If anybody says shit about him, I will beat the fuck out of you. Because he's one of the best people I've ever met in my life. He's amazing.
I met him. He's a great performer.
Oh yeah, I've gotten to meet Saliva, Saving Abel. They were both great people. They were great bands. But one year I was working the county fair in our hometown, and we were cleaning up. And here's Justin Moore was there, and I'm a huge Justin Moore fan. Okay, and he was there. He talked to me. He seen me putting a dip in, right? Because I chew, put a dip in. He goes, "Hey, you know, gas stations open around here 24/7." He goes, "I need chew." I'm like, "Do you want a dip?" I gave Justin Moore a dip on my fucking shoe. He goes, "Do you want a shot?" I went into his tour bus and did a shot with Justin Moore, which is still one of the highlights of my life.
That's awesome.
That man and talk to him. He's a great person. He was a great guy. He was funny as shit. Like, I love Justin Moore. And yeah,
that's fucking dope.
He was awesome. Justin Moore was a great guy to me.
The year after I met Blackstone Cherry, the Black Crows were playing the next year.
Ooh.
And one of my friends, she was writing for the local radio station. She was reporting on the Jubilee Jam, so she got me on their bus, and I did shrooms with Chris Robinson.
Dude,
Black Crows.
That's awesome, man.
Oh,
the Black Crows, dude. Fuck, dude.
It was insane. You want to talk about people that know how to experience life? This dude was having people play guitar, and he was just getting up and then singing in your face. And I'm just sitting there like, my mind is melting, but this is amazing. Like,
Dude,
you
right,
look like
man?
an angel from heaven just singing to me.
Yes, dude. And that's the thing. I'll actually say to this day, actually, my favorite concert of all time was actually seeing the Styx. The Styx were in my hometown. And I got
Okay,
to see them, dude. Oh my
explain
God,
this
dude.
one, because you just threw me away with who you've said you've seen, and then you're
Dude,
telling me the Sticks were the best.
dude, that concert was insane, man. The whole fucking stage was shaking so bad, the ground was shaking underneath your feet, dude. That's how loud it was.
That's
It
crazy.
was a great fucking concert, man. I don't know how many fucking drumsticks the drummer broke either. You would see him going, and all of a sudden the drumstick would just fly off out of nowhere because it broke. He
That's
had to have gone
crazy.
through like 10 fucking sets of drumsticks just for the show, man. Oh my God, dude. It was great, dude. It was weird because the Sticks being the greatest band I've ever seen, or the greatest concert, that was one of them. It was just insane, though. They were loud, they were in your face, and they were great, man. They were an awesome concert. They were amazing. They put on a kick-ass show, and you could tell they said, "We don't care if it's a small town with 3 people. We don't care if it's 100 people. We're gonna put on a show," and they fucking did, man. They did. They're one of those bands that do not care. They're gonna put on a show.
That's awesome. I mean, I
Yeah,
love
dude.
hearing it, especially an older band back then. I mean,
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen
they fucking kicked ass.
um who
And trust me,
ZZ.
I wasn't expecting it either. I was not expecting that good of a show either at all.
Honestly, I wouldn't. But I mean,
No.
ZZ Top is one of my all-time favorites I've seen live, and it's only really because it. I mean, obviously they're legends in themselves, and they
Oh
know
yeah.
exactly what they're doing. But the interaction afterwards, waiting in line to talk to them, and then, I mean, I was there for 40 minutes waiting in line. And when I get up there, they look at me and say, "Hey, boy, can you slide on over and let us look at them ladies behind you?" And that's what they wanted to do. They didn't want to talk to a guy who's like, "Hey, man, so how do you melt down the Cadillac parts to put into the strings?" They want to look at the girls, which I understood, but they did their shit, man. They know what they're doing. These older
Yeah.
bands, like a lot of them, get out there and they put forth the effort that you wish you would see these other bands do.
Like,
I would say though, Slipknot has been the
ooh,
best stage show I have
they were a good show. They
seen.
were good. I seen them with Hollywood Undead and Seether down
Oh
in
my!
Iowa. Down in
See,
Iowa. And
Hollywood
it
Undead
was
would
it
be,
was good. It was a good concert, man. Oh, it was fucking good.
yeah. They well here with
That's when
music,
Hollywood Undead was really good, like 13 years ago, and they were
yeah,
together and they weren't broken up like 3 times. And
they
like
weren't fighting
that's
each
when they
other.
were on top with Seether, and Seether was on top, and so was Slipknot. Back then, I mean, I think it was like 08, 09 I seen that concert,
Wow.
and that was God. Oh God, it was great. But anyways, you're saying Slipknot?
Yeah, I was saying when I seen them, they were battling Machine Gun Kelly. I seen them at a what they
Fuck
call.
MGK.
Yeah, well, we were up in Chicago at Riot Fest, and I looked at the card for that night. Slipknot was closing out the on one stage, and Machine Gun Kelly was second to last on another stage. But their stages were like back to back of each other. So you had all these people over here for Machine Gun Kelly, all these maggots over here for Slipknot, and Corey gets on the mic and he just lays into it. He's like, "Fuck Machine Gun Kelly." He said some words I'm not going to say on here, but
Yeah.
he was like, "All you maggots, if you see one of those people come this way, take them out." And then I'm standing far in the back because I'm about 40 at this time. I've been in a pit. I don't need a pit. I survived a Pantera pit. That's good. I'm ready to go from concerts.
Yeah.
So I'm watching back there, and I just see all these Machine Gun Kelly fans coming, and there was sod thrown, there was beer bottles thrown, and these people, but
Jesus.
they had to get like shuffled to this other exit as opposed to going out the main exit. It was
Oh man,
Yeah, they were.
that's insane.
It was an aggressive concert, but I mean, I'll tell you this: Slipknot, they know how to put on a stage show.
Oh, Corey knows what the fuck he's doing at all times. He
Yeah,
goes loud and proud, and he doesn't do anything small. He's very. It doesn't matter where they perform. He's all about the people and doing what they
dude,
love.
that
He is.
fire that it just shoots out of the back of the stage is just,
Yes.
oh my God, it's so incredible to see. I actually seen Rammstein back in the day when I was in high school,
Wow.
but well, here's the thing. None of the lighting worked. So he's up there smashing light bulbs on them and they're not even lit up. And it's like, well, do Hashmish do fa, I guess. Same with Megadeth. I went and seen him, the Finnish band, and Megadeth was opening for him, and the lead singer gets up there and he slams down the mic, and his mic was out the rest of the show. Like you couldn't hear any of the lyrics. They couldn't get it to work. And then there was a 40-minute delay for him because of this. And it was just like, man, I really wanted to say I seen a Megadeth show, but I don't think I seen a Megadeth
You
show.
seem like a half a show.
Yeah, it wasn't very, very entertaining. I mean, the guitar playing was amazing. I really love that. And Pantera, dude, I seen them the year before Dimebag died, and
Wow.
yeah, it
That's
was
awesome.
the amount of speakers that they had on a stage.
I've heard Pantera shows are loud, literally.
It was so loud, so aggressive. Like Phil got on. I don't know if he'd been drinking, but he was like, if you see someone who doesn't look like you, take them out now. And we looked over because we're up in the rafters. I look over and there's somebody who didn't look like me, and they're like, "What?" And I was like, "No, you don't got to worry about me, man. I'm just here for the music. I'm not here for the rally that's going on down there with
Oh,
Phil."
shit.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude. I seen bikers just throwing young people out of the pit. It was insane, but a hell of a show. I mean, to witness Dimebag Darrell do Cemetery Gates live, oh
Wow.
man, it was amazing.
That's awesome.
Dimebag was a treasure, and
Oh, yeah.
Pantera was an interesting band to watch the evolution of them going from 80s butt rock to what they did up until the end. And I hear that there's a possibility of a new Pantera.
I've been hearing that for years, man. Years. Yeah. That's like me and Lunar were talking about this the other day because we're talking about in Wembley's stream about bands, and he's like, he was want to see Motley Crue. I got to see Motley Crue in their first retirement tour, not the second one, okay, because they've done I don't know how many fucking retirement tours, and then they're still together. But I seen them first tour because I said it. This is my favorite band of all time. I will fucking go see them. And it was so loud. I was deaf for 3 days. I was deaf for like 3 days, dude. I had earplugs in. I was so deaf for like 2-3 days. I'd be like, people are like, you got to write it down. I can't hear you. I literally cannot hear you. It'd be like, it's like, you know, when you have like that, before your ear opens up from airflow, like you can hear better. It would be like that, but like times 10. Like,
I could
really
imagine.
Deafening. I couldn't hear shit because it was so loud of a concert.
Oh, I could imagine. The funny thing is my wife walked down the aisle to kickstart my heart. Because that's just how important that band is to me as a young child growing up. You should have seen the look on her dad's face when he walk her down. Dude, and it was at the very beginning too, with the motorcycles revving and then wrong. Dude, I don't know. That's just going to be one of my favorite moments from my.
I mean, absolutely, dude. I think anybody's wife walking down the aisle to kickstart my heart would be a highlight of their life. So.
Dude, but I see my mom looking over and talking to people. She's like, "Wait, this is about drug overdoses." I was like, "Yeah, but she's kickstarting my heart,
A lot of people. Hey, and the funny thing is, a lot of people don't know that's what it's actually about is drug overdose.
Yeah,
that kickstart my heart is literally like, hey, can you kickstart my heart so I don't fucking die? Is literally what it's about, and people don't know that. Like shit.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a fun moment. All my friends loved it. I had after the wedding we did the reception. Everybody in the bridal shower got to pick their own song because I wanted them to come out like wrestlers, like they're coming out for a match. And my best man John, he actually came out to "You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking," and he just hit the door, and it was so awesome. I absolutely love that.
Fucking Luna.
Yeah, I was just reading what she.
Yeah, I know. I read it too. And a tree blew up. Costa was like, "What?"
Wow.
She will too. She's been talking about that for a while. Like she's gonna when we do our wedding, like she'll probably come out in a fucking T-Rex costume. It's not the first
That
time
would
she
be
said
funny.
that.
Dude,
I can see her doing it. To be honest, honestly, at this point, if she doesn't do it, I'll be very, very disappointed. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you definitely have to get that video and put it out when it happens, because I will watch it. It will be a
Oh,
silly.
watch it, man. If you're not there, I'm gonna be fucking pissed off. There's so many people we've talked about inviting. Like she says all the time, like, who's gonna do the music? I was like, we could always throw out a line to DJ Kobe and be like, hey, will you come do it?
Yeah. Oh, dude,
We've said that. Like,
dude, that would be one of the most epic weddings.
Lunas says you're gonna be there.
Oh, okay. I will be there. I mean, give me a time and date, and let's make this happen. Here we go.
Oh, we're not even. It may be another year and a half. Yeah, we might be like, God. We are talking about, of course, the economy and everything. Like we've been talking about maybe next year we can get a house.
Hey,
that's our first goal, is to get a house.
I don't know if you've seen the news today, but things are turning around as we speak,
oh yeah,
my friend. So it is time to get out there and make the money you can.
Yep.
I mean, hell, Hamas already said we're done. We don't want to do any of this no more. And when you get those guys doing that shit, you can kind of see things are going to turn around a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely, and Luna, of course, I'd bring my wife with me. I'll probably bring my daughters with me too. So you'll even have more friends, because they're weird as shit too. So you'll enjoy them. If you enjoy me, you'll love the product that comes with me.
Oh shit.
We've been talking a little bit about music, a little bit about movies, some video games in there. Viking, though, what really gets you going in life, though? Like, what is your spark? What is your
we talked about this last time about things that interest me and whatnot, what I get into. I mean, like once I find a subject, I like to learn about it, weirdly enough. And there's been small things. I think last time I may have mentioned it was I was getting into, like, I'll randomly get into it. Like, I'll see the videos is like in San Francisco, they have like the world's oldest like printing presses, I think. Oh. And their YouTube channel, it's the San Francisco Printing Press. And their YouTube channel I really got into. And like watching how they would make like old presses and stuff. It was just a thing I nerded out on really quickly. And I was like, this is cool to watch and learn about it. It all depends on really what I'm watching on YouTube at the time. Like what I see comes across my timeline, like sparks my interest. And I'll be like, watch that. Cars, of course, here and there get my interest. Of course, it's cars. It's Southern cars. I want to watch it. I like learning about stuff, and like a lot of the times it's been. Have you ever heard of the YouTube channel called Matt's Off-Road Recovery? Utah.
Is he the guy who does the? He's got the mobile auto shop, basically. Like he goes and fixes.
He is the world's largest wrecker.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen that? In his other vehicles, the Morvair and the Banana. The Morvair is a Corvair like station wagon that's on big ass tires. And the Banana is an old Jeep XJ that's like a bulletproof recovery vehicle. They're all yellow.
I've seen like the thumbnails on YouTube when I'm looking for videos to watch.
Yeah.
But I've never clicked on them. So educate me.
If you want to learn about some cool stuff for recovery vehicles or off-road vehicles, it's very informational. Very. Okay. There's a few, I like watching channels that teach you stuff. Like them, Donut Media. I love Donut Media. Their channel, it's like the world's biggest car channel on YouTube probably now, basically, other than some others. And there was a series called during COVID that was called The Money Pit, and it was all about this Miata they were customizing and working on the whole time. And they wouldn't just show you what they're doing; they're going to teach you step by step kind of what they're doing, like how to replace the rotors on this car or something, or brake pads or the brake lines. They will teach you and show you how they're doing it really quickly. Yes, that's Matt's Off-Road Recovery.
Yeah, right there we go. So I pulled this up. This is exactly what Viking.
Not that video, but the channel below it. Yeah,
it's talking about.
That's Matt's Off-Road Recovery. Yep, I just literally seen Matt's hat too. That's Matt.
There we go.
That's the Morvair on the left, and the one on the right is the Banana.
All right.
And then he's got a big wrecker called the world's biggest wrecker. That car in the river is actually known as the Golden Nugget right there. That like
This one
little
there.
mail carrier vehicle. Yep. That's the Golden Nugget they remodeled. They
Okay.
did a whole restoration on that. Right now he's taking a it's an old Spud truck. That one right there, the off-road 6x6 right there, that blue one. That one that's in that one. That's actually no, it was actually a Spud truck. And he's making to a 6x6 recovery vehicle off-road to like pick up vehicles and put on the back of like in hard to reach places so they can pull it out. I've been watching the videos on that, and they teach you everything they're doing. They show you what they're doing, like little bits and pieces to improve on. So it's really caught my interest over the last year or so and whatnot, last few years. So I've been in a lot of that stuff, learning how to do that. It's maybe something I learned, and maybe something you don't know. You might remember it randomly if you're stuck on the side of the road and something happens. You're like, oh, I know how to do this and this. Because I know stuff, but I don't know everything, and I like to learn more. Small things like that.
That makes perfect sense. And like we did talk about in the first one, you are a collector of knowledge when it comes to this stuff. And that's why I like asking you those things, because I feel that you're also a person who evolves throughout the times that we talk, and you might find something that tweaks your interest in this route. So it's always cool to see that this is the type of stuff that you're into. Just fucking
that's something I'm into. I mean,
shit, man.
Yeah, a lot of times I like to watch that stuff. A lot of car stuff. I love Donut Media as well. I've always been into. Did you ever watch the show that was on TV? You may have heard of it. It's called Diesel Brothers.
Diesel Brothers. No.
Yeah, it was out of Salt Lake, Utah. It's called Diesel Brothers. But his name, and then there's Heavy D and Diesel Dave, and they're the two guys that own the dieselsellers.com. And it's where they would auction off like a big vehicle that they have, and they would do it on. They were doing it to Discovery Channel, and they did that show for like 6 years, I think. And they would do a truck and do a giveaway, and they'd have entries and whatnot. Like $5 will give you 20 entries and whatnot, and they would do that, or entries or something. They would do it randomly all the time, and they would sell off some vehicle or truck to give. Right now, they're giving away a Peterbilt. Yeah, that was the old Diesel Brothers show that you can, I guess, watch on YouTube. I didn't know that. But Heavy D, which is Dave Sparks, and Diesel Dave is his best friend. It was the guy with the long red beard. There's a guy called Redbeard on the show, which I don't think he's a part of them anymore. I haven't seen him in years. That's Heavy D.
Yeah, that is Heavy.
That's Heavy D. Yep, that's Heavy D, and that's his channel. I watch that a lot because they do recoveries, and Heavy D himself will teach you, hey, they'll take like some old cat bulldozer that's from like 1980 something. Funny enough, actually, that big green one in the border you see, that's called the Oshkosh. The big one up at top, the green one in the middle there. Gotcha. He actually had to use that to help Matt's off-road recovery years ago, because in Utah they have this thing that Matt knows about, and it was this drop that was like 180 feet or something. And people would roll off old cars there, insurance claims and shit, basically, hey, my boat sunk in the water kind of thing, like one of those.
Yeah.
That Peterbilt right there is also the thing they're giving away right now, that red and white one. That's their big giveaway vehicle. It's badass. And then that little blue thing there that's on the ground, they just bought that, and that actually it runs on an engine behind it. I learned about that. That's something that piqued my interest. Yeah, that thing. That little blue thing.
Lowest truck.
Yep. And they did this little customization to it the other day, and that was their new video. Stuff like that piques my interest. I get to learn about it.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
How this stuff is made.
I mean, we're creatures of wanting to learn and knowledge, and craving the most that we can put in our brains. And that's
stuff I learn about, and I like to know about it. But as Luna said, there's a lot of stuff that I know, this small little tidbit that she doesn't know anything about, and I'll tell her about it.
Yeah.
I'll tell her all about it. Like, there's something like, oh, that's not how you do this. You do it this way and this way because of this will happen. Otherwise, if you don't, there's small little things like that. Like, and I get that from my dad. Like, he'll know like random tool facts and stuff. And there's some things where I'm like, hey, Dad, how do I do this? Like, do you know anything about this? And he'll tell me some little bit of information where, no, he hasn't, but he knows something about it from somebody else. I told him how to do it one time and so. And I've always learned that way, like, to know more is better. because it's not always something you need, but something else might need the information as well. And my dad's taught me that over the years. Like there are small things that I know nothing about, but he might know something about it, something mechanical, something tool wise, or something like that. And I've always asked him about it because he'll know more about it than anybody else I know, probably.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome to have. I mean, just to be able to know that you have that ability to just know little things, and I don't know,
It's
like,
that nerd factor, and everybody has that too. That little nerd factor, something about this, and like it pops in your head, like, no, that's what I should do with this, and you know, like how to do it specifically.
yeah,
And my whole thing has always been, hey, if you want to know about, or if you have the information about, teach the next person. Always teach the next person. Always
exactly.
teach them
I
what
mean,
you know.
it's like,
Because in what?
go ahead.
Oh, because in the long run, then if there's something else and that person is like, I wonder if they know about this because they taught me about this thing a while ago. Do they know something about this thing I'm trying to learn about? And that's the good thing is they keep coming back to you. That way you can teach somebody what you know.
Do you think knowledge was a currency before currency?
It kind of was during like Greek times, actually, in a way. Because people would charge what they know. I think it's during like the Roman Empire times or something like that. Maybe before that. My memory's a little fuzzy on it, but yes, currency was a thing. Knowledge was bought, and like a lot of times traders would trade knowledge about certain things. About, hey, do you know where I could trade this in this town? They'd be like, yeah. Do you know where I can do this and this? And they would trade information. So yeah, currency in a way or knowledge was used as a currency at one point in time in a way. Kind of still is if you think about it nowadays.
Isn't that just a crazy idea? I mean, just to know that, I mean, because right now, our money is not backed by anything. It's just
I'm
printed.
not a teacher.
So
You're saying fucking Luda.
Viking the teacher, yes, he is. So we're gonna get into this because I think we could work something out, and you could probably teach me something about this.
Possibly.
Okay, so we're not backed by anything. I mean, our money's not backed by gold. It's pretty much printed off whenever it's fucking wanted, whenever anybody needs it. So to go from something like as valuable as knowledge, and that being a way that made civilizations grow, it's like the ultimate currency. I mean, because you can have the amount of metals that have symbols on them and the amount of papers that have symbols on them, and you could build a house with it. But the knowledge to survive and the knowledge to thrive, way more valuable than buying the way to do that. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do, because I have a with what you're saying. I'm going to use this because look at how cavemen went from living in a cave to building a hut. That was knowledge that was learned. They didn't just find out about. Somebody else at one time knew about that. Look at civilizations that did that, like Native Americans and other civilizations or tribes and whatnot of different cultures. They learned how to do this and that was knowledge. So, say there's some other, I don't know, some random wild man roaming around the woods or whatever where they're at, and they don't know how to do this and that because they were never taught, and in their culture they'd be considered dumb technically by the others. But hey, they want to learn, so they learn from the village. They're not with them, but they could be outside this tribe watching from a distance how they do things, and they learn how to do it, and they go and do it themselves. That's currency right there. If you think about it, learning how to do it, and so, and then they learn how to do it, and they could be like, oh, I do it, I'll do it this way. And so what if that person that just learned from that village how to do something, they did it in a different way or did something better? Then the tribe can see that and go, we'll try that. What if that improved their way of life? That's how it was back in the day, if you think about it. And there's been a lot of different provings and findings and books and museums and such that showed that. Like this is what they learned from this and this and this different tribes, and that's how they did it. They were proving their ways of life as they went on over time.
Do you ever think that like about the idea of the first mind that became like the realization,
Genius.
yeah, like the realization of like knowing and just like being like, no, we're like, I mean, think about it. We go from, like you said, the caveman, from going speaking in grunts and things like that, to developing getting out of a cave, going into a language, coming, like, where does all that start? How did that, because like, if you think about it, if you're talking about caveman, then there's obviously caveman in this section, there's caveman in that section, and so there's like, at that time there's just cavemen, cave women, and they're all over those areas,
right?
Where
see, that goes back to you want to know about, again, that's the thing I do. I want to know about it. That sparks my interest. I want to learn about it. See, that's what you're doing. I just did that to you. See, you do that thing where you're like, I'm curious to know how this works. I'm going to learn about it.
I just call those high thoughts.
You're not wrong.
Those are shit. My high thoughts.
My curses, I do it all the fucking time though.
Yeah, I don't know if I could handle that. See, if I'm not going in my normal routine, then the thoughts just don't stop, and they're like 100 of them at once. So I slow everything down, and then I can focus on them. And usually the dumbest thoughts I have are the ones that come to the top, and they're just like, hey, you should probably.
That's how knowledge is, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I think about things like, do animals, like, in their own language, is there lawyers? Is there doctor animals? Is there, like, do they have their own civilization?
I mean, that's like, I can counteract this a little bit. I just seen the other day, I seen an ant get fucking gaslit, literally, by a person.
Okay.
Somebody had in this like little tray, they sat down, like it was like it looked like a breakfast sandwich thing, of like pancake sandwich or some shit, right? And they made this ant take a piece off of it with them back to their like colony, and then came back with other ants, and there was nothing there. So what did the ants do? They all beat the shit out of this little fucking ant. I watched an ant get gaslit, bro. Like, that was the craziest shit to watch. An ant got its ass beat because it just lied.
Yeah, well, it's got to learn.
Like what?
I like to think it was the ant from Ants. What's that actor's name? The little nerdy guy. He's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, you get that, man. This is a colony of ants. We work together, and you're bringing us out here for this bull crap. It's not even
that
anything.
One ant just lied to its own colony, and it's just like, and the ant just sat there and looked and got its ass beat. So the look of this ant is like in disbelief, like, I was lied to. And this other ant that was with it was in the corner watching it happen. Another ant was with them that was with this one ant that went back to its colony and just watched it happen. So you could see it happening, that this ant just got gaslit because it lied to its own colony and then gets his ass beat by the other ants.
You gotta
Which
love
is one of the funniest things
nature.
if you think about it.
No, I think it's hilarious. I mean, the fact that I mean, that would happen in life. I mean, think about it. If you were in a tribe and you were like, hey, there's some food over here, guys, come on, let's go. I tons of it. And then you get there, yes, Woody Allen, but you get there and there's no food. Hey, guess what, Viking, you are getting your ass kicked right now.
Exactly.
And you brought your own group to kick your own ass. So
yeah, which was the funniest shit ever in this clip. And I'm just like, oh my God. I'm actually going to see. I probably find it on YouTube shorts. I was just scrolling through YouTube and I seen it. And I was like, this is some bullshit to that ant. Like, oh my God, man, you just fucked up his whole life. Which is one of the funniest things ever, but it's kind of fucked up. It was so good to watch, though.
I think that's fantastic. I think they should They should have a television series about this because I would
Oh
watch it.
God,
I mean, Meerkat Manor was a phenomenon that happened, man.
Meerkat Manor. I've always seen clips of it. I never watched
Oh,
all of it, and
dude,
I was just like, God, this show's good.
it was
But that's what got
insane.
people interested, is because all their living style.
Yeah, and does that harken back to the idea that we are too comfortable, that our leisure time is watching
Mm-hmm.
animals just be animals? Like, that's even a step lazier than going to a zoo. At least at a
Yeah,
zoo, you're walking around. With this, they're like, "Hey, you want to
I
see
mean,
it?"
look at then you know what? Then look at the people that watch Shark Week. Then
That is true. That I mean, they dedicate a whole week to
still
it.
one of the biggest. Is that show even still on? Or I know
Oh
it's been
no,
kind
they
of
still
dying
do
out.
it. No, they still do it.
But
I
you know,
see it.
that's one of the biggest ones of all time about watching animals do weird stuff and like learning. Like it'll be
Yeah, but
Shark Week.
how much more can we actually learn about sharks? Like, like
Eh, I
I,
mean, there's something, every day that people are like, wow, I've never seen them do this or this animal do this. And you're like, you kind of learn something. That happens all the time.
or just videotape your wife. What is going on? What is Luna talking about?
What? I'm not even
What?
sure because I'm trying to look for that YouTube short. So I'm
She's
not
just
sure what she's talking about.
she's just out here giving suggestions like a crazy person.
All right, time to
Shark.
take the phone away from Luna.
Oh, okay. There we go. I'm picking up what she's saying now. Yeah, we could do that. That would be. I mean, there'd be a lot more less confused men out there, but probably even more confused men. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not doing the math on that one, but it would definitely be something.
Listen,
Uh,
I gotta live with her, okay? I'm just gonna say this: Luna's amazing, but a lot of times, I don't know if your wife ever does this, where she'll start with a sentence halfways and she only knows the beginning part of it in her head, but she'll say the end half of it, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Luna does it all the time to me. I'm like, "Yo, you gotta back up and tell me what the hell you were thinking about." I gotta
yeah,
know the beginning part of this conversation because I don't know what you're talking about. She
yeah.
does it to me all the time.
My wife does the same thing, and she expects me to know what the hell she
Yeah,
was talking about.
exactly.
And
And then no, because I'll do the thing where I'm like, "Hey, can you back up and tell me what it is?" And she'll just go, "Never mind." And I'm like, "No, I'm trying to know what you're talking about. Like what you're saying is important to you. Tell me. Don't just tell me half a sentence and then just walk away. Because I'll just feel like a complete fucking moron." And I'm like, "What's going on?"
yeah,
She
and I
does.
just knowing you, I know you do not want to feel like a moron. So
No, I don't. Like I want to know the rest of that sentence. Like what?
exactly.
I'm very confused.
Hey, that's
She
life,
does it to
brother.
me all the time.
Yeah, it don't get no better. It keeps going too. I mean, so
Yes,
enjoy
yes, it
that
does keep
ride.
going.
We're the men who sign up for these roller coasters, not expecting them to have 70 loop de loops, one right after another, but
You're
they
not
do.
wrong. Because
Yes,
I'm
I
trying
get.
to figure out what she was saying, and I'm like, no, come back here because I don't want this shit to continue. Yeah, it's just in her
I
head.
bet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm just
bet it
like, no,
does.
come back and tell me what you were thinking about because I got to know if I can correct this or not. And that's my
Did
thing.
you?
I'm trying to help her.
We were speaking about horror movies earlier. Did you
Uh huh.
like the Rob Zombie's addition to the horror world?
Oh, Devil's Reject is an amazing fucking movie.
Okay, so Devil's Rejects. That did you watched
So
all
the
three
thing
of
is,
them, right?
I did watch. No, I didn't watch the third one. So the thing is, I never knew House of a Thousand Corpses was the first to Devil's Rejects. I didn't know that for a while, and then I watched it later on. I'm like, yeah, Devil's Rejects was better.
Yes,
I will
yes, it
always say
was.
it.
But again, like what we spoke about with Terrifier, it seemed like he took his gamble. He made a House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Reject. You could see he got money for
Oh
his
yeah, and then
and
was it Salem? Salem he did or whatever it was. The
yeah,
the
he
witch
did
one
Salem.
sucked ass. That
Yeah,
sucked ass.
that one wasn't one of my favorite ones, but I will
What's
the
the game show one? 43 or whatever it's called.
I
Um,
didn't know about this one.
The one about it's not a game show, but it's that one like maze thing where people kill each other or it's televised or whatever. They can pay for it or something. I don't remember what it was. Of course, his wife was in it, but like 51 or 53 or something. I don't know. Luna's probably right now Googling Rob Zombie movies and she'll tell us. If she isn't, she is now. I know her way too well. But it was
31.
that movie. 31, yeah. And it was a weird movie about like I seen it one time. I actually think I own it, to be honest. Hey hon, go ahead and take a look out there in our movies. I'm pretty sure I have it out there. It was just called 31. It was really weird. It wasn't bad, but I was just like the whole time I was like, I'd prefer if this movie is over with already.
Yeah.
Like it's one I'll rewatch, but it was just weird.
I can understand it. Like Salem, I didn't the Lords of Salem. It was okay. It wasn't something that I really like wanted to watch ever again. But I did finish the 3. I finished House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and 3 from Hell. And I will say this: 3 from Hell is an underrated one. Because it was, well, it's mostly focused around Baby, which is Rob Zombie's wife, but it's focused around her and her story. And I really dug her story the more they got in depth with it, because it really, like, she plays a fantastic psycho. And in 3 from Hell, you really see Rob Zombie's wife like really break out, and it made more sense why he kind of focused the Salem one around her more, because it seemed like that was like a movie homage to her, I guess. I mean, like the way she wanted to do it, it didn't really grab me as a Rob Zombie movie. I don't know, but the 3 from Hell, dude, I'm telling you now, I would check it out. It's a fantastic movie. The addition, since Sid left us, he passed away.
Yeah.
There's like small little videos of him, but nothing like, you don't get to, there's no new Sid footage, but the replacement that they had in it, which would have been in the story, it's a stepbrother of Baby and Otis, and it's really good. Like the story of it's really good, the action scenes of it, and they left it open for a possibility of a 4th. So I'm starting to think that maybe this family is just not. You can't kill them. You can't get rid of.
Well, I mean, family. The Reject, you thought it was all over with, like everybody did. Yeah. I didn't think a 3rd one was ever going to happen, to be honest, because you're like, oh, they're dead. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You go through the courts, their trials and things like that, and then it does one of those fast forwards, and then they're there, and it's a wild story, man. You find out the warden's a nut job, and it's crazy, man. Like it gets really good, but yeah, I would check it out if you haven't seen that one. But I agree with you on the ones. I mean, Halloween, his rendition of Halloween was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Halloween was good. I watched the first one. I don't remember a damn thing about it. It's one of those that I watched and I don't remember much.
Yeah.
But I'm always going to go back to John Carpenter. I always will. I'm always going to. Because I Will Die on This Hill. A lot of people know this. The Thing is my favorite horror movie of all time. Always will be.
Okay.
The Thing is my favorite movie. I've even read the book it's based on. I read it years ago. I should actually reread it. But I'm a fan of the story. And I'll say this. If it wasn't for The Thing, you wouldn't have Among Us. I'll say that all day. Because Among Us is basically The Thing. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The Thing is the original Among Us.
When you break it down, yeah, that's basically
you got to find the imposter. That's what it was.
Yeah. And John Carpenter, he's like up there with me with George A. Romero's. They put out a movie and I'm gonna watch it. Stephen King, though, me and him, no, we don't see eye to eye. He actually
depends on it.
On Twitter.
My favorite.
No, we get into arguments. His movies were decent, but I've argued with
you
him
and Stephen
Twitter.
King got into arguments.
Oh yeah, he blocked me on Twitter.
Shit, that's great.
Yeah, he got my first account banned because I said some things to him and he did not enjoy it. And then after that was I got banned, and then Elon bought it. But yeah, so he banned me on that one. It was fun, but yeah, Stephen King and me, I don't like him as a
It
person.
all depends on the Stephen King movie, really. There's some that I like
Yeah.
that I was all right, but actually, my favorite quote from a horror movie is actually from one of his movies. Do you ever see Ride the Bullet?
I cannot say
Not
I have.
Silver Bullet, not the werewolf one, which is Silver Bullet, but there's one called Ride the Bullet. It's about this roller coaster. David
Okay.
Arquette's actually in it as a I think he's a dead guy, but they get out of this car and this crow's on the ground and he literally says, "The fuck you looking at?" and gets run over by a car. The way it was set up though is the hilarious part of this crow just saying it was just the randomization. It's like you've seen The Ringer, right? It's
Yeah.
the same thing as "When the fuck did we eat ice cream?" It's like the
Yeah.
same exact line. It's like the same setup. Like, "When the fuck did we eat ice cream?" But it's this crow saying, "The fuck you looking at?" and gets run over. Was just
That's-
hilarious. It's my favorite part of all his movies. It always will be. Because it was so stupid and small, but it was hilarious to see in the moment. I just loved it.
All right.
And I will never forget that part for that. No,
Right.
Stephen King movies, they're all right. But
Ah,
I just I think the last one I watched was did I see Doctor Sleep? I don't remember. I read the book because Doctor Sleep is the second of The Shining. And yeah. No, the last thing of Stephen King I watched was actually a show. It was Mr. Mercedes. That's what I watched.
Mr. Mercedes.
Mr. Mercedes. It is
Haven't
so
seen that.
fucked up. It is one of the most fucked up stories ever. And the show is so wrong. Like there's things that you're like, wow, that's something you don't see normal people ever fucking doing. Like there's Stephen King's version of fucked up, but this went to like some dark places at times where like you do not expect that from Stephen King.
Did
It
you
was some dark shit.
do you follow Tarantino movies?
Yes, I do. I love Tarantino movies.
What do you think's going to happen after his last one? Because I've been hearing a lot of people think he's going to go into directing TV shows.
No.
Well-
Quentin hates people way too fucking much.
Yes, he does, but he also does not go against what he says. And I don't think he's done creating.
No, he is not. I heard he was set to actually one time he was going to direct some horror show or something. Because I remember there was a whole thing with Friday the 13th when it came out. They were going to do the TV show, and he had a hand in it that he possibly was going to direct it or something. I heard rumors about that for a while, that he was going to maybe direct the TV show for Friday the 13th, and it was going to be really good. And I was like,
could see
fuck
him
yeah.
doing that because yes, are you working with people? Of course you are, but they're always in character and things.
And
like
then
that.
you got to remember though, they did the From Dusk Till Dawn show, and he didn't direct that.
Which
he
was
wasn't going to.
Horrible mistake.
It was an okay show here and there. It wasn't bad. It was interesting and a good concept, and it was kind of entertaining. But then you're like, yeah, this is dumb. I'm not going to watch this.
Yeah, but if you put Tarantino directing that, it's going to be good. You know, he's going to make that work.
Like one of my favorite movies of all time, I'm actually going to maybe have Luna to watch it tonight, is Death Proof. It's one of my favorite movies.
I fucking love Death Proof. I watched that in the theaters with
the concept, because all the action scenes are actually performed by Zoe Bell herself. She's a real stunt woman. She was the body double for Uma Thurman of Kill Bill, and that's another thing I nerd out on is people doing that stuff. Like she was amazing. I mean, they had the Nova, the Charger, and then the Dodge Challenger from Vanishing Point. Movie date? Yes, hon, we can watch Death Proof tonight. That's not a problem.
I
go pull it out. Why don't you pull it out while you're out there?
Hey,
it's out there in our movie.
This is a PG show, Viking. Good Lord.
I have Death Proof on DVD. I own it. I just did the Nova and GTA actually yesterday.
I seen that when it came out with his other
Planet Terror.
Yeah, that was That was a long time to spend in a theater to watch
Because
slasher films.
wasn't it a double feature for both of them at the
Yes.
same time when they came out? Yeah.
Yeah, and
I seen
this
Death
was
Proof. I didn't watch it in theaters though.
this was back in Mississippi too, and the person I was with, she was not happy about this. She did not like any of that those movies. She was
Death
like,
Proof is a great car movie with horror mixed in. It's one of
Yeah.
the best.
I tried to explain it to her. She was not excited, but I went back and watched it with a friend of mine, and we had a great time. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, that's like I love horror car movies. Like well, that's the one of them. My favorite, I will say it all day. One of my favorite movies is Joyride. I love Joyride.
Oh,
Paul
Joyride
Walker.
was good.
I
was
made Luna watch
twisted.
that for the first time. She never seen it, and I own it. And I was like, "You're gonna watch a good fucking movie today."
You know what's another one that's kind of like Joyride? I mean, in a similar concept. Have you ever seen Vacancy?
Yes.
That is a
my
great-
ex-girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend had never seen that. This was before I was married. I was the girlfriend before I was married. To my ex-wife. She had never seen Vacancy, and it was on maybe it was on Netflix at the time back in the day. I don't remember. It was something. And hi, baby. Yep, that's the one. She just brought Death Proof in. We're gonna watch it later.
Sweet.
But she had never seen Vacancy with Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale. Is one of my favorite movies of all time. Good
Dude,
fucking horror movie.
That is such a good one.
God, it was great. It was
could
so
happen.
good.
It's
So good because it can happen. And then
Yeah.
you think of the concept of, man, that's fucked up that people would record this of people just getting murdered, and then they sell it to truckers all of a sudden, like because they're into that weird shit. Like, and
Yeah.
you think about though, there's people that are like that too, though. They're into that shit, and it's just like,
Yeah.
man, that's fucked up.
It is.
That's
It really
fucked
is.
up.
I thought
But
that was
Vacancy is a great concept. You're right. It's a great concept for a horror movie. It really was because it's like the shit that can happen is a good horror movie. Like Vacancy, Death Proof, the stuff that could happen. There could be some psycho. I'm not going to say the rest of that sentence, but you know what Kurt Russell was in Death Proof. That could happen. Like a dude could go do that kind of shit if you think about it.
most definitely. And I think that's what kind of gave Blair Witch back in the day. It's a lore. It's a mysterious.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate Blair Witch. I think it's stupid. I didn't like anything about it. I'm not a fan of the series. I think it's dumb because the whole movie, I'm like, I can see what's gonna happen next. Like you predict it like right away. Like
Yeah.
I've seen that happening. Like it
The
didn't scare
original-
me. Like
But that. Well, you're a big bad Viking dude, so you're out on the seas. You're not in the woods.
but it's just
The woods are terrifying.
oh
my
fucking
friend.
A. But no, it's just those ones are just like I'm just like if it's not a horror movie I can enjoy, I'm gonna hate it.
Dude.
But the thing is though, one that I enjoy is Signs. Is my favorite alien movie. I love
That's
Signs.
a good one.
I loved Signs when I was growing up. I thought it was a great concept because again, it could happen.
Yeah. I mean,
And
definitely
at that
could.
time, and I mean, you know, and I'll conspiracy theory time here just for a minute. You notice how fast we just glossed over the fact that we acknowledged aliens existing?
Yeah. Well, that's the psyop.
Oh yeah, but it was just a hey, look over here for a second thing though too. That's all that was.
Yeah.
But
Well,
back to it, Signs is one of my favorites because that's another thing. Like it could happen. It could in that way. Like somebody that owns a farmhouse and there's just weird things happening at night and then climbing on the roof and you're like, you think it's the next door neighbors just being really fucking weird. No, it's aliens trying to break in your house and they're scared of water for some reason. Like, and here goes Joaquin Phoenix with a bat going swing, batter, swing and fucking knocks one out. Like it was a great concept and I loved Signs when I was a kid. I really did.
yeah.
I love that shit. And
I mean-
that's like I will say this, unpopular opinion for a lot of people, but I think Scream is the dumbest horror movie series ever made. I'll say that all
Scream?
day. Scream
Okay.
is just dumb to me. I don't like it. It's very predictable. And I was just like, how are people scared of this? It doesn't scare me at
Well,
all.
To me, that was the fun of Scream because if you think about the release of it, you're coming out of an era of horror of Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger.
Kind of. I mean, that's when, you know, the Jason and Freddy movies were getting stupid with their sequels at the end.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is really dumb horror. Like, what? Like, Freddy Goes to New York or whatever, or Jason from Hell, or Jason from Hell, or whatever the fuck the last one was.
Hey,
in the
Jason
90s.
Goes to Hell is an underrated
It is. It is. But I think of the space one, maybe. I think the space one sucked.
Jason X sucked. I'll be the first
Jason
one
X
to
is the
say
one
it.
I'm talking about. Because did that happen around like Y2J years and shit?
Yeah. Yeah. It
Like
did.
right around 2000, 2001, something like that.
Yeah,
that
I believe
happened.
it was around that time.
Yeah, and it was just really dumb. I remember being a kid watching Scream 1. I may have been scared back then, but as I got older, I just thought it was a really dumb concept. And I'm just like, this doesn't even give me like a heartbeat, like of adrenaline rush, like something that gets me going. That's what I liked horror movies back then.
I know.
I was like, please, something that's going to be interesting.
Here's the thing, though. I think that that differs in my world. It's the fact that, like right now I have kids that are interested in horror movies, so I get to keep bringing up all these old.
Oh yeah, that's a great thing, dude. Yes,
like I remember when I
introduce
was
them to the generation that you were in, the good shit, and that's the thing I love about. Again, I'm never going to be a parent. That's not my and Luna's thing. I'll never be parents, but other people's kids, I'll talk to them about this stuff. They're like, hey, yo, you should do this. You get to introduce your kids or other people with kids, and they're into horror movies, and whatnot, all that stuff. You get to show them the good stuff and what they should expect from a horror movie. Don't watch. I mean, there's people that watch trash movies for the fun of it, but
I'm one of those.
Introduce
people.
them.
That's me.
I am kind of one of those people too. Yeah, at time to time, it's a movie that people don't like. I'm like, I liked it. I don't know the concept originally why. Huh?
Toxic Avenger. One of my favorites.
I think I watched that one point in time years ago. But again, that's a trash movie that people don't like. Other people like. It's one of those. It really is. And I love that generation. You can introduce them to the good ones and what they should expect from a horror movie in the long run too. Of like what is good, like what'll look good. Like you can do that. And I've always liked that about kids. Like you can teach them, hey, this is a good horror movie. Go watch it.
Yeah, we started them off a couple Halloweens ago on Final Destination movies. And one of my daughters is absolutely terrified of like a bathroom that has one of those wires that hang up the shower curtain. Yeah, she watched when it wrapped around the neck and killed so she's like, no.
That's like people are all scared about riding behind a logging truck. Just to let you know, you're safer riding behind that logger truck than you're the car next to you.
Yeah.
Because guess what, people? Logs don't fucking bounce 10 feet in the air. They drop and stay there.
Well, I mean, I live my life through movies, so yes, they do. They do bounce 10 feet in the air, and you always have to be cautious of that Viking.
They can't bounce. Wood does not bounce like that. Not a log. They drop and stay on the ground. They will roll, and that's it. They may drop. So they may bounce like an inch or two, and that's it from the sun impact because, mass hitting ground so fast, but they might bounce a little bit off a blacktop like that. A little.
Go back
not
to
somebody's car.
Sammy Sosa's bat. They were bouncing. That's how we got.
That's a bat. Bats bounce all the time.
Is it wood? Where does wood come from?
Fucking Justin.
Trees or logs?
Okay,
there we go.
That's different though. That's a small little piece of wood.
Luna, I'm there with you. This guy ain't swaying me just because he's out.
It doesn't freak me out. I've watched Final Destination with a dead face, and I hated it.
Traffic, he's just out here. Oh, it doesn't happen. Yeah, it happens,
no, it doesn't.
Buddy. There's a whole movie about it,
and it was fake. It was so fake and CGI.
Yeah, but I mean, that's where I introduced my daughters. Just trying to bring them into horror movies.
I mean, that's a good way to freak them out really bad too, though.
Oh, it was. Trust me.
Yeah.
Because when we took vacations after that, and they were not impressed. That was something. I have one daughter; she just absolutely will not watch a horror movie, and then the other two, they just love them. Like we can watch whatever ones. They won't watch the old campy ones or my all-time favorite, Jason Takes Manhattan. That is my all-time favorite horror movie.
I've seen it one time, and I really need to rewatch it because it's been so long. I want to rewatch it.
Dude, I absolutely love
I'm a Jason fan all the way through and through.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Jason's my favorite. So
he was one of my favorites. I mean, just a big goofy dude in a hockey mask running around. Cracks me up. Now, the first one I am not a fan of. the whole mom
The
aspect.
first one is boring. It's
Oh
so
God.
boring.
Like it was get over yourself. Come on.
Yes.
I got so tired of that one. But
And then they kind of reiterate it to where that's not Jason, because the first Jason is the guy that comes camping with them, right? The counselor, whatever it is, right? And he becomes Jason. That's not even the actual story of Jason, though.
yeah,
It's really weird, the lore, because people are like, that doesn't make any sense. If you watch the first one, if you watch the new Friday the 13th and then the first one, it does not make sense to you at all. You will not understand how they go from that concept, because they technically canceled out the first movie if you think about it. Because it was some guy that was just there that just lost his mind and grabbed an axe and killed people. That's all it is. He went a little crazy. Because the actual concept is that it's Jason's mom told him to like go kill the people in the area, whatever it is, and like she's just fucking crazy, and that's all it was. So the first movie is really weird if you think about it. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
It'll really throw you off.
And just like these rated X comments coming in from Luna, she knows a log that bounces. So,
God.
I mean, I assume she's talking about timber and trees. So maybe it's a rubber tree. Who knows? But, you know, when I said that, I thought about when I was a kid and I still had a babysitter. And I remember in her kitchen, she had one of those Spencer like little bushes, and it had condoms all over, and it was called a rubber tree. And you know, when you get older, you make the connection. Yeah, dude, some of my babysitters were weird as shit. I probably
this goes back to people you don't understand. They're just fucking weird.
Yeah,
fucking it.
Pretty much.
Oh my God.
I just remember that, and always watching the Soundgarden Black Hole Sun video on MTV at her house.
Man, now you're making me think of Chris Cornell, man.
Oh, Chris Cornell.
I was a huge fan. When he came back with that album with Zach Brown and they made Heavy as the Crown.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that song, man, when he came back. And then that song was on WWE. It was on the 2K game next year.
I don't think people, well, I know he had a huge amount of fans, but
he did. He was so awesome. I still say conspiracy theory. I don't think he died the way people think he did. I think he was killed.
He didn't. No, he was in the group with Chester Bennington
and
Isaac
Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony Bourdain, all of those guys.
Yep. That's why when I see it, people are like, "Oh my God, Chester killed himself." He did not.
No, he didn't.
He fucking did not.
And if you look at it, and I had, people go out there, do your own research and everything. But
yes,
I've looked into
media fucking maggot and just believe everything you read.
Exactly, because when you look into it, for example, out of those groups of names I mentioned, Isaac Cappy, let's just bring him up. So he starts talking about the stuff going on in Hollywood, and some big names get brought up, and then he has said that he has committed suicide, but they find him off a bridge with 20 bullet holes in his chest. So let me get this straight. This man did this to himself and then threw himself off the bridge, or threw himself off the bridge and then did this to himself. And then why do I see the video of the guy sitting in the car videotaping the man throwing him off the bridge? But you told, okay, so you go,
didn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And yes, I could be speaking like crazy talk, but these are videos I have seen. I have them. I view them.
That's like two suicides that don't make any sense. One's very famous, the other one's not so famous. But I'm going to start with him. Is the man that originally played Superman on TV back in the black and white days, was found shot with 2 bullet holes in the back of his head, and supposedly it was a suicide. If you don't know this, it's the guy that originally played Superman way back in the 1950s, whatever, when it was black and white television. There's the same guy that actually, I remember the story of a kid found his dad's gun, a .357. It's in the movie too. Because I looked more into it over the years, is he came up to him with his .357 snub nose that he took from his dad's dresser drawer and pointed at the guy. Ben Affleck plays the actor in the movie. And he's like, Superman, can I test this? And he tells him no, because the line is, he goes, if you shoot me, it may hit somebody else that can't take it. And so this guy almost died that way too, because when he was doing the TV show, he would go and do birthday parties and events as Superman and be like, because they all believed he was Superman. These kids do. But yeah, this guy was found with I can't remember the movie, but I think it has I can't remember his name, Anthony, whatever his name is. He's the dude with the big ass nose. Really skinny white guy that's an actor, the big ass nose, Anthony Crane or something like that. But he's in the movie as well. But he's he's like a news reporter in there. But yeah, this guy was found in his apartment with because he was killed upstairs during a party or something, and he was found dead, shot with 2 bullet holes in the back of his head or something.
Makes you wonder what he knew.
Yeah, I don't remember the whole story anymore. I think it's called Hollywoodland is the movie.
Oh, yeah, I know what movie you're talking
about. Isn't that the movie?
Hollywoodland,
is that the one?
Yeah.
That's Hollywoodland? Yeah, that he was found dead upstairs. And
Yeah.
that's the whole premise of the movie, the investigation to him. Yeah, Ben Affleck is in it. And then the one dude with the big nose is like investigating it, or he's a news reporter. I can't remember. It's been years since I've seen it. But the second one I'll go to is the most famous one, one of the most famous suicides of all time, Kurt Cobain.
Oh.
He didn't kill himself. He didn't kill himself, and I'll fucking say it all day. He did not kill himself.
Well, what makes you say that?
Wasn't he found with 2 shotgun blasts? I believe one was through the ceiling and one was through him.
There was there was parts of him everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe so.
I still say Courtney killed him.
Okay, Courtney. So that's who you're pinning it on, Courtney.
Partially, but I think there's other people involved that just weren't brought to light. I would love to see Dave grilled about it, though. I really would, because he's the only person that would probably have the information about it.
Well, Viking, would you like to go down the rabbit hole that I've experienced with this?
Oh, please do, because I don't like Dave Grohl, to be honest. I really don't. I think he's a piece of shit.
Well, good.
I like Foo Fighters. I used to here and there. I like some of their stuff, but Dave Grohl has become. I will say this, and I don't like to get political, but the last year has really shown a lot of people's true colors of how they are and who they are, and it's why I don't like them. I don't like Eminem anymore.
Oh, you and me both. I'm not going to watch Happy Gilmore 2 because of him. If he's got a cameo.
Oh, is he in that?
Yep, he's got a cameo. Fuck. So,
I mean, I might watch it because it's Happy Gilmore 2, but yeah.
Because I recall being told that because I didn't get a nation, I should die and I shouldn't be alive. And because I decide to align with a certain political group, I'm a Nazi. I'm a
same.
So I'm done being the nice guy on that end. But diving back into this, because we're going to get into it. Dave Grohl, look into Dave Grohl and where he comes from, who his father was. So his father wrote campaign speeches for I believe the Bushes. I know it was
I heard about that.
So he also hired Dave Grohl when Dave Grohl was younger. I believe he was about 16 to go into one of the Republican national conventions and start a ruckus to where the security beat him up and shit like that. And then Dave Grohl got a little bit of notoriety off of that, being a protester and all this stuff. So you leak into that, and then you start looking more into what his father was involved in, which you come into the MK Ultra, as most of these older CIA, FBI guys are involved in, and you see into what that was. And it's basically being able to control people and basically get groups to do what you want because you have some dirt on them. You get something on them. So therefore, there was some extra things to be put into this, which also you go into Courtney Love and who her father was. Well, her father also worked into the MK Ultra program, in which he was actually introducing Courtney Love overseas during the European craze of the punk rock scene. And she introduced those gents and those ladies over there to heroin. That's what was leaked into there. So you get your overdoses of the greats and the ones losing their minds off this stuff. And then she's brought back over to America. And she's also used in some S-word stuff to obtain information. And from there, she links up with Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain knows nothing of this. And through that, she notices Kurt's in this band, in which is making a little bit of noise. So they're starting to make noise because you have Dave Grohl in it, the link with his father. You have Kurt Cobain, who at the time his lyrics were speaking to a bunch of angry people who just didn't understand what the hell was going on in the world, which that's the grunge movement. That's what it was. So you are starting to get all this. So the introduction of that starts being seen because in the first album, each one made $1 million, each member of the band. So that's $3 million. Courtney Love looks at Dave Grohl because he just showed up in a Bentley, which is a multi-million-dollar car, especially the one that he had. And she said, this doesn't make sense. How can we be getting paid this? And, you know, everybody's making this and you have this at that time. So I believe that's when Kurt starts to question things and he starts looking into it. And he actually starts to see exactly what is happening around him, in which he doesn't want to be a part of it. He doesn't want to be sucked into this machine, because even though I'm not a Kurt Cobain fan, I didn't really like the music. I understood the importance of him in the music industry at the time. And he started out one way and then started to see behind the scenes all the puppet masters pulling the strings, and it's not what it was supposed to be, which is why he sabotaged a lot of his interviews he had to do. You know, really the last real performance we've seen of him was the MTV Unplugged. And you could kind of tell in his eyes that the truth was being put in front of him. And at the end of the day, I think Kurt and Dave had an equal hand in it, and they both have whatever pact they have with each other, because then you go on and what does Dave do? Dave becomes a frontman. What drummer do you know in the music industry has ever became a frontman? Like,
right.
Like, I get that there's talented people out there. I totally get all that. But I mean, okay.
And I won't say that Dave Grohl isn't talented with what he can do. He is. He very much is, because look what he's become over the last 24 years of the Foo Fighters. And I say 24 years because kind of their big break was being in Spider-Man the movie.
True.
If you remember, that kind of gave them a big break and really shot them into stardom even more. At the time, yeah, they were well known, but Spider-Man came out with isn't it I Need a Hero or whatever the song is?
Yeah. Hero.
And that made him
Hero, I believe it's called.
Yeah, and that made him way fucking bigger. And that song is still reused to this day for some stuff. And it made him way bigger. And then the Foo Fighters got more and more popular with, you know, teens and whatnot. And I'm gonna do it like Foo Fighters, Seether, Slipknot, Godsmack, POD, Saliva. You know, those bands all got really big with specifically teens. And so that really made them popular.
Oh yeah.
And Dave Grohl got popular because of that. So I'm not going to say they aren't musically talented. They're one of the best bands in the world. I will say that all day. But I don't like him. Not for the last year, because of the little crybaby he's become. And it just more and more made me look at him like, nah, he's kind of an asshole, piece of shit. And
have you seen have you seen the interview where they ask him specifically where he came up with Hero?
I may have.
Well, he just says, you know, it's just a normal thing. It's just a normal song he wrote. Like, he has no inspiration, nothing behind it. And I don't know about you, Viking, but I'm a nerd when it comes to music, and look into like some of the best songs and how they were created, how the artist behind it came up with it. And to have a song that moved a entire generation, that was in one of the most influential movies for cinematic advancement, to just say that you have no idea, you just make songs.
It's just so boring.
Well, and it shows me that you're a puppet. Like
Yeah.
to me, he had a talent to be able to keep time on a drum set. His dad seen it, and that's why I started the story off with how the way I did, because the if you look into the MK Ultra stuff, it's all about manipulation and making people believe that the situation that they're in and that they have other people involved in is real. It's almost like a real life simulation of an idea. And if you can take that and you can take a bunch of people around the world to buy into that, then that band, that person, that entity has some type of power. It has the ability to move masses. And when you can do that, you have the ability to implant whatever you want into that community. And which that's why I cannot stand Green Day anymore, because they went from one thing to
I
another.
was never really a fan of them, to be honest.
It, and and I can understand that, but like here's me though. Like I was 13 when I heard Dookie. So I was ready to hear some noise. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that was my introduction to punk rock. And then from there I found Rancid. From there I found No Effects. From there I found, Jimmy Eats World. From there I found like all these other bands, and I got into like
Yep.
the old swing punk bands like Squirrel Nut Zippers and those guys, and like a big bad Cherry Poppin' Daddies, those guys, like that type of movement and music was like it was it was like a shock to the world, to the generations that were listening to it. I mean, you mentioned Godsmack. Do you like the idea of going into high school and hearing Scully just screaming, just his angst, his just ready to
Exactly.
rage. Like it was amazing. Corn, for me, Corn was something that spoke and just took me and threw me into society and said, "You got to fucking look at me because I got a voice." And I was like just blown away with Jonathan Davis and all these notes he was hitting, and then hearing Fieldy and his bass lines, like being blown away by a bass
Music that
line.
speaks to you, man. Like the way when it sounds, you're like, God, I like that feeling it gives you. I do that at Luna all the time where I'm like, hey, listen to this beat of the song right here, how this starts, or like this part, like you got to hear this part because it
Yeah,
like gets you. It does that part where it raises your adrenaline and you feel the hair on your arm stand up because of that beat. Like it gives you that chill feeling, and you're like, God, this makes me like just want to fuck somebody up, feeling like
dude.
like I want to fight because of this song. Like,
Yeah,
God, it's great.
it-
Volbeat did that to me. Volbeat, Warrior Song. Warrior Song from Volbeat made me want to fucking fight somebody, man. I love that song. I
dude.
love that song. I love Volbeat in the first place.
Yeah.
But
So
that
is my
song
wife.
was like, God, I want to fuck somebody up right now.
Yeah, I
And
mine.
back in the day when I was boxing, that was my entrance music, was Warrior Song. I was like, yeah, this shit sounds good.
No, I can
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
That's one that gets the adrenaline going. And
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
like when I was younger, it was Walk from Pantera. I mean,
I
when you
understand that. I can understand that, man. Fuck yeah, dude. Dude,
like
the
when
beat, man, just makes
yeah,
you want to fucking go.
it's like it's
Like that song, like you'll be driving, the song come on, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna drive a little faster because of this song. It's just
yeah.
it's weird. It does that to you, like for me, it's fucking what is it? Rob Zombie, Thunder Kiss. Is that what I'm thinking of?
Oh, yeah.
Thunder
I
Kiss.
that
Yeah.
bass that comes in. Yeah.
Yes, dude. Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's all or Demon Speeding. Demon Speeding is one of my favorite songs of all time. Again, video game music. If you ever played Flat Out 2, Flat Out 2 has to me one of the greatest fucking albums of all time. There is Rob Zombie, Nickelback, Yellow Card, Soundgarden, I think is on there. Oh, what's the band? Fucking Wolf Mother. Okay, that album was when I was a kid, dude. Oh my god, all these songs came on to Flat Out 2. I was up for it. Demon Speeding to this day is the one where I'm like, yeah, I'm driving faster because of this fucking song. Like it made you want to fucking go.
No, I
And
know.
yeah,
I
dude, it's
know what
those
you
songs
mean,
that did
man.
that to me. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, Megadeth Symphony of Destruction was on there. Symphony of
Yeah.
Destruction is on that album for that game. It is still to this day my favorite one of two or three favorite game albums of all time. My other one would be, have you ever played Splatterhouse?
Yes, I
The
have.
remake. The remake. That fucking album was so heavy metal. Oh my god. I love that album.
Yeah, they heavy metal is near and dear to my heart. Like
Yes.
I mean, when I heard Kill Switch Engage for the first time,
Dude.
oh my god. And
Oh.
then my buddy's like, yeah, this dude was a trained opera singer. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. This
Right?
is amazing.
Right? People don't fucking expect that, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's his
no,
name?
dude.
Like
That's
Surge.
what it
Surge from
Huh?
System of a Down. He's a trained opera
Dude,
singer too,
right?
from
System of Down. That's another fucking band that'll do it for you.
yeah, and I really hope they get back together to do something because
I hope so.
don't you feel like this type of climate needs a System of a Down album?
Dude.
Like,
Could
I
you
don't-
imagine if Chop Suey came out today?
Good Lord.
Oh.
Man.
Huh. Or dude, Bulls on Parade? Holy fuck.
Yeah, well, the Rage, they've kind of sucked me out of liking them. Just their
Rage Against the Machine has been like here and there, and I'm just like, I don't really like them anymore because it's the same shit. That's like, dude, we were talking about the other day in Wembley stream. I don't mean to squirrel off here, but we're talking about songs that we liked in bands. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was a huge fan of theirs. Huge fan. Loved them. But the radio killed it for me because they would play like the same 3 fucking songs all the goddamn time. And I'm like, can you guys play some other shit? Like they have good songs too, you know?
yeah.
They same 3 songs. I'm just like, I don't like them anymore because of this.
Dude, I remember when I was a young kid, the radio station around here wouldn't play Suck My Kiss. And that was like, to me, that's one of my favorite songs of theirs, man. And I remember when I was on the Greyhound bus traveling down to Mississippi, I read Anthony Kiedis's biography. And let me tell you, Scar Tissues is one crazy book. That dude's life was erratic when he was younger, man. He was a trip growing up.
Bro. Well, that's like, I love it when you'll see Flea pop up in places and people are like, I don't know what that is. I'll be like, do you know what he used to do? They're like, no. I'm like, you ever watch Wild Thornberrys? He's Donnie.
Yeah.
And people don't fucking know that. Like, he's Donnie, bro. He's Donnie from Wild Thornberrys. That's him doing all those fucking weird noises and shit. Like, people don't know that.
It makes perfect sense though.
Oh yeah. when he popped up in I think one of the first times like that he got really popular though was when he's in Son-in-Law. He's the tattoo artist.
Yeah.
That draws the butterfly. You pick it, I stick it. Yeah, dude, when he pops up, man, I remember being a kid watching that movie for the first time. My mom had no clue who the fuck he was. I was like, oh my God, do you know who that is? She's like, who? I'm like, that's Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm like, he's the drummer? Like, you don't know that? Like, the dude's awesome.
How do I know that and you don't know that?
Yeah, like I was a little kid. Like I remember being, I think like 10, 11 when I seen Son-in-Law. Yeah.
That's
like
great.
I grew up on that shit, dude. Like, yeah, man. And like he still pops up in random movies and shows to this day though, too.
Yeah.
I think he's produced some stuff or something, like some other small things. I have to look it up, but yeah, there's some small stuff he's done here and there.
He is a feature that should be highlighted more.
He should be.
I love Flea, and you never hear anything like his opinions on anything. He just
because he's the one that stays out of that shit, and he's like, I don't want to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah, who would want to? I mean,
no, he's like, because well, on top of it, do you know how fucking famous he is? Like,
oh yeah,
duh, he doesn't want to do that shit. Unlike Dave Grohl, that takes every opportunity he can to do anything.
Yeah, Dave Grohl and me, I've lost a lot of respect for that dude this past couple years.
The last year, especially for me with everything. I mean, when You Know Who used his song at their rally and they threw that whole hissy fit, I was like, you guys are really freaking out over nothing. And look how much it backfired on the Foo Fighters.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
Also, look
People
what
hate him now.
Exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Grohl hasn't been that rock star that he always claimed to be. So, and that just goes to show, maybe not trust the snake when he tells you he's not going to bite you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point on that one.
You know what, Viking? I think we need to put this at a 3-parter.
You want to do this again? I was just thinking. I was like, man, if we did this weekly, it'd actually be really entertaining. I just don't know what days we could do it on. Other than Saturdays would kind of work for me.
Well, they will work for me up until softball season, and that's after.
Got you.
So, yeah,
Because when do your girls start it for softball? It's your girls, right? Or do you coach it? I can't remember.
No, my daughters are in it. Yeah, you don't want me coaching kids. They will be coming home saying some of the most fucked up shit you've ever heard, and you don't want that for your kids. But yeah, they play. They're doing some pretty amazing things these past couple of years. They just played in the softball World Series this past summer.
That's awesome.
Down in Alabama, they spent like a week down there, getting to play against teams from Japan, Australia, things like that. So they're really working hard at what they do. So yeah, it's like, kind of prideful to go see them. I usually sit in the car and watch because I'm also the parent that will say fucked up shit. Like, you slide into my catcher kid, I might tell your parent I'm going to shove their kid up your ass. Who knows? Things fly out of my mouth.
It's understandable, though, man.
Yeah, we could definitely pitch around an idea for doing something like this.
We definitely could, man. I would not be against it if we did this more often.
Yeah, we can definitely come up with an idea for this. And I know.
Funny thing is, Colb just texted me. He goes, "You're gonna join stream so I can watch him eat the spicy chocolate bar." It's 2 million Scoville.
Oh,
so yeah. Again, back to the whole thing, like that popcorn store I was talking about, where I got Luna that one Velociraptor.
Yeah,
that's where we found this. Actually, was in the mall. I can't remember if it was in that store, but it was in the mall. And yeah, I brought it to him tonight. I forgot that we bought it. It was just sitting on our counter up there for a while, and I texted him, or I told him on stream, I'm like, "Hey, we have this for you, like, to go eat on stream sometime." Well, earlier this week, he was like, "Hey, if I get 5 subs, I'll do it." I instantly bought 5 subs, and I'm like, "You're doing it." He's like, "Well, guess I'm doing it."
You gotta love that. But I think that's gonna be a treat for him and the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you want to do this, like, not next Saturday, of course, because that's Kurt Angle. I'm not going to be available. It all depends on, the only Saturdays I could shoot around is like Frontline Pro nights, of course, too. Like, if we go to the shows, but we could do this way more often if you want to do more interviews. I'd be down with it because we can nerd out on the shit we want to and don't normally talk about with other people.
Exactly, and I'm always down for that. I mean, there's millions of conspiracies we can go down, and
God, yes, we totally could. We could go into the, because I know you had, I don't know if you still do that conspiracy show or not.
I know. Excuse me. Some things happened where I got contacted about some things, so I haven't been really doing that one. But I mean, in this new era of making America great again, I think I can get away with it.
I mean, I'm pretty damn sure, because I believe the First Amendment has really kicked back recently.
Yeah. So we might be,
I'm all for it.
You know what? We might be talking about that.
Yeah, we could totally do a weekly thing if you wanted to. I'd be okay with doing a weekly thing. I'd be okay with it, because I'm not going to lie. I kind of miss doing this shit with Lou a little bit. I really do. I had such a great time with that, and we could totally talk about random ass shit like how we like to. So,
hey, I'm definitely down with it. So
definitely, man.
Well, let's keep in contact after this, like we always do. But let's kick this around. I might come up.
Yeah, dude, I'd be down for another show in like 2 weeks or part 3, whatever you want to call it. Whatever, I'd be down to do it again, even before the end of the year or something.
Awesome, man. I love it. 10 seasons worth. I love
There's
it.
a lot we could kick back on.
Very true. Viking, I know you don't do any like streaming or anything, but
nope.
Anybody you want to promote, maybe people you know
I mean, of course, you guys already know who Grunt is, so I'm not going to do that. But also Lou, Trev, Wembley. I mean, Trev K, Wembley TV, the Lou. Who else am I thinking? Misfit. You know, go ahead and give all the friends some love. Go ahead.
Yeah, go check them out.
Who I'm going to go pick on now for a minute.
Awesome. And fans, you know me. You know who I am. You know where you can find me. There's all shows out there. My next one coming up will be tomorrow, tomorrow with the Sunday house party where me and who's ever available, we talk about wrestling. And then you can catch me on Monday on the Window Lickers presented by In Your House Monday Night Raw preview show where me, Grunmeister, and Kevin Calloway, we talk Raw. And we invite you to join us to talk those same topics. So join us at 7 p.m. where we kick you off to Raw. And then you can catch me at the end of the week where me and House go extreme. It's the ECW watch along where we are watching all about ECW and following that sweet, sweet storyline that they wrote so many years ago. So come join me and House and we can go back to 1997 and watch some ECW. So fans, window lickers, your friends, my friends, Grun's friends, any Chaos Goblins out there, and the Viking shipmates that are just out there on the ship waiting for him to get back on so they can go do whatever Vikings do out there. We will catch you on the next one. And don't be a stranger. Catch me tomorrow.